to Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blynd Submyshynz. I fully almost knocked my water over with my knee doing that.
Let's not do that.
God, we're dipshits. At
We
least
don't need to get that into it.
It would only spill on the carpet.
And it's just water. It's all good.
Well, happy record day.
Yeah.
How was your day? Anything exciting happened today?
Busy.
Yeah.
No, we had like a day-long DEI summit at work. So it was nice. It was mostly just kicking back and watching.
Everybody wants to know what a DEI summit is, don't they?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
There you go. It's a good way to go.
Yes, important.
Yes.
Important things.
Yeah. I sat around my house for the second day while someone tried to replace my furnace, and we'll sleep another cold night tonight.
Did you sit next to him and hand him tools?
You know, I'm super interested.
Can I get you a crescent wrench?
And I'm the least handy person in the world, so I did watch.
Yeah,
because
I love watching when
I don't
like
know
pros come over to my house. I don't want to annoy them, but I love watching them do it. Like,
yeah,
there's a craft to it.
I literally have no idea how any of that shit works. So, yeah, very interesting to me to keep an eye on it. So yeah, that and another cold night. You know, California can't be too sad for us, but it is supposed to be like 40 degrees.
Oh
tonight,
man,
so.
it is a low of 40.
Yeah, it'll be a little chilly. Extra blankets.
Still 72 during the day.
Yeah,
but that's uncommonly warm for December.
Yes, it is. It was crazy warm today. Yeah. 2 days in a row. So
welcome to Blynd Submyshynz, the weather podcast from California.
About California weather. Hey, there's a reason we stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of California,
ooh.
So kind of chewing on the full circle moment that this episode represents.
Yeah.
Since our guest tonight, I will formally introduce, is John Carbone from the band Moontooth, who, if you have been following from the beginning, I discovered the day before I think we recorded the episode with Susie, and my mind exploded.
Yeah. Was that the day before?
It was close. I think it was Friday because it was before pizza here.
We went down that rabbit hole.
We went, so I heard it in the car and I was like, what the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. And I went home and listened to the rest, and then I came and I was like, you got to hear this shit.
Yeah.
And all Friday night we listened to,
Sat on the patio,
listened to the new record, the first record, the acoustic record. I think by the time we were done, we had ordered every piece of vinyl.
And we listened to all three records probably at least twice through.
Yeah, at least twice through.
Yeah,
so
with the chills. I had the chills the entire time.
Major chills. So really, really fun to just reach out to John and say, hey, we're obsessed with you.
That's not what I said, but no.
we want to hold you and love you, and
I'm obsessed with you.
Would
you like to come on to my show?
Yeah, never let you go. Yeah. No, so John agreed to come on and shoot the shit with us, and we have literally spoken to him for about 90 seconds.
Yeah,
didn't want to blow too much of what could be a fun interview in a pre-interview. So, but what so this sort of, I like to develop themes because I'm a dork. What was interesting to me was I didn't know this band. A lot of other people, including people I know who this band is. Mm-hmm. How did I not know them? Where are they? How do they kind of generate the interest that they did in their little neck of the world? And it turns out it's kind of regional. And it turns out that metal is still kind of a regional scene type of music. And so how does that happen now that we have the internet and everyone knows everyone? What does it mean now that we have a pandemic and no one's touring? Does the regional stuff stay more regional, or does the internet,
does it even shrink?
Yeah, does it shrink? Does the internet become more important? Because when I watched the video for one of the songs on the album, Musketeers, I was like,
I fucking love that song.
So it's a great song.
Good.
And then the video is just the band set up in like a white room, and then different people keep cycling in and out of the different instruments. And I was like, hey, that's the singer from Husbandry. Yeah. It was like all these people from other bands. Bands are brands too.
Exactly.
From other bands that I knew, and clearly, at least for now, they're sort of part of the Brooklyn St. Vitus crew of like post-hardcore edging into experimental music, and there's a lot of those bands, and I found a lot of them. But apparently, until 2 months ago.
Exactly. I mean, this is a band that we should have found years ago. I mean, I think the first album came out in 2016.
Yeah, I think it was 2016. And they had toured a lot, and I think maybe put out some EPs.
Yeah.
Before that, toured heavily. So
we don't miss bands.
Yeah. So what's the scene like where you are? What's the scene like in the Bay Area now? What's popping and what isn't?
Yeah.
What scenes did we come up in? These are things that have come up a lot. And before we get to the end here, the last new segment that I came up with, you'll learn a little bit about the scene that I grew up in the formative years, late high school and college in the Bay
90s.
Area, the 90s weird Bay Area.
It all happened in the 90s
because it comes right back around to these musical cues in the Moontooth record that actually remind me of things that were happening here 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But totally, context is totally different. Overall sound is totally different, but they're just these little snippets and bits of things.
That's exactly part of what I caught on when we did our massive listening evening.
Yeah.
I kept hearing like pieces of, oh my God, that sounds just like, oh shit, that sounds just like, and oh geez.
Yeah. And it's like, it's referential without being derivative. It's natural. It doesn't feel stitched together.
Oh, not at all.
And it's a really hard thing to pull off, and so we will pound his melon about it.
Yeah.
So
let's do this.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and bring him on. All right, you vamp while I.
Should I do my regular?
JD fills with buttons. And plays the mouth trumpet to the president's empty chair.
Dum 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 dum.
I know
I'll keep vamping.
I know. Okay. There's
Sorry about that.
only so much of that.
Is there a point?
A person will tolerate.
There's a point.
All right, dudes.
No worries, man. You just missed.
I was vamping. It's cool.
He was playing his mouth trumpet, so it was good. So welcome,
Oh, is that
John.
to be confused with the skin flute, or
Similar?
It's kind of like air skin flute.
Air skin
Oh,
flute. Yeah,
I
exactly.
missed the show, clearly.
Welcome, man. We just kind of gave a little background on the band and sort of how we discovered you at the beginning of this podcast, and how this is kind of a fun, like I posted last night, kind of a fun full circle moment for like why we're doing this shit. Is that it blows my mind that a band like your band exists. And I was saying, I watched the Musketeers video and I saw folks from other bands that I already know and listen to, Husbandry and, whoever else. And I was like, well, how the fuck do I not know these guys now? But there's just so much music. It's like impossible to listen to everything.
Yeah, of course.
And this is one time where the algorithm helped me out. An unnamed big box cloud and music streaming company who I won't give any press to.
Who we do not support.
No. But who happened to serve me your song, I think probably because I had just been listening to Husbandry. And then I said, give me my playlist. And it played the song off the first record. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, it was really cool. So welcome aboard.
Right on, guys. Thanks so much for having me, man.
So, first easy question, not easy question at all. How's the last 9 months or so been for you personally and for the band? And I'll say before you answer, you guys are productive as fuck, making me feel like a slacker putting out live sets. And
I have music that I write on my own, and like there's a reason that there's songs I have that are written several years ago and have never been released. Like the band that I'm in now, especially, like everybody keeps on top of each other, but especially Nick, our guitar player, is like there's a constant fire under all of our asses, and it's great. We all like thrive on that. I love that, and there's this intense eagerness to like just fucking get work done, and we're constantly writing, so there's just always kind of something to do. And now, especially that we can't tour, it was just shit to get cracking on. So
yeah. Are you guys practicing at all together safely, or are you just kind of doing your own thing and putting pieces things?
Not so much. We're actually, whatever. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it. We're recording now. I mean, like,
you're not.
We're in the still kind of like pre-pro kind of stages. But we'll be starting like official tracking like soon. I don't know how much I should or not to say, but now that there's no other bandmates here, motherfucker, I'll say whatever I want.
They'll never hear this.
Yeah, they can't muzzle you.
We're doing that, and we're trying to like be as remote as we can. We were actually just talking the other night about like as things kind of slowed down the past couple months, like, you know, the four of us would get together and we'd work on some stuff and jam some of the new shit out in the room. And literally like was like Monday night we had a Zoom session instead of meeting up, and we were talking about like, all right, maybe we should cool it on the full band rehearsals, and we're gonna need to like meet up soon like for tracking, but if we track, maybe like not all of us have to be there. So, you know, we're being careful because we record at Westfall Recording Company, which is our drummer Ray and our good friend Anthony Lapardo own and operate that business. So they've been running now as things have reopened, you know, but like if, you know, everybody's got a mask on in there and they're being careful. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Is that where you recorded the last album?
Yep. Everything you've heard is Westfall, and it's been Ray behind the board for everything too.
So the trip down to North Carolina or South Carolina, that was all pre-pro. That was working shit out, and then you recorded back in the studio.
For Crux, yeah. We went down to Mark Morton's house, and Machine was there, and we spent about a week. I think it was like right after Christmas or before Christmas. I forget. It was a mindfuck of a thing, but like, yeah, we just spent a week and worked every day, like from like 8 a.m. to about 2 a.m, taking like tiny little breaks here and there and working stuff. And then Machine was gonna produce and record the whole album, but he had like a schedule conflict kind of thing, so we just kind of left it at like pre-pro with them, and then Ray handled the rest of the record, which worked out good, you know.
Yeah, it sounds fucking great. I mean, you guys are one in that long list of, you know, when you're, you know, hustling in the DIY scene, when your drummer owns a studio and, you know, you have people who know how to engineer, you get shit done. We had Trevor Church from Haunt on last week, and Trevor's a good friend, and he was in his studio where he writes and records 3 albums a year because he's a fucking lunatic, but he just figured it out because nobody was going to do it for him, and it's so I feel so happy that technology, the cost of being able to do that has gone down so much. It's really democratized like high quality recording.
Yeah, you know, like, and that's one thing I think about all the time is that like if we didn't have Ray and Westfall Recording Company, and not only that, but like Anthony, who owns Westfall too, he's done a lot of video work for us. Our good friend Sean Ageman in the early years has done a lot of video work with us for Washed Up Media. Like if we didn't have all these other things, like Ray's father owns like a t-shirt, like an apparel company like thing. He does like work for like the fucking Yankees and shit like that. So if we didn't have all these things, you know, we probably wouldn't be as far as we are now. Sometimes I feel like kind of privileged, but then I don't want to say that because like that doesn't speak to like everybody, like Ray with the studio, Sean with Washed Up, you know, Ray's father with his company, like everybody worked their fucking ass off for years to get where they are. You know, we just happen to be a band now in the right place at the right time.
Exactly. And I think it's like it comes together for a reason. You know, it's not like you guys formed a band because of these things. You know, those things were just happenstance, and you're like, oh, cool. You know, it's like they were meant to be there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's really how I feel. You know, like it's, you know, you could call it a little like woo woo, but like I think it's, you know, it all, you know, everything was kind of just leading to this point. Like any good situation in anybody's life, I feel like, you know, when stars align, you know, like.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and it only works though when like you're making something that they're interested in. You know, if you're doing good work, if you know you could bring them some shit music and they probably would be less inclined to help you out. And B, when you're fucking cool and you have good relationships with people and you treat people well, they want to help you. They get invested in the whole thing. We've definitely. I mean, if you ask me, hey, how many people did you know before you know you got heavily back into music? That could help you out if you were in a band, I would have gone, probably nobody. But if I actually really dig through, I know tons of people who do tons of things that are useful that would have helped us. Yeah. It's just as long as you don't burn bridges and make people hate you along the way, they'll be there.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things we talk about a lot on this show is that it's the the industry isn't just the musicians and the
No.
venues. It's like, it's the t-shirt printers, it's the graphic artists, it's the, you know, it's the pedal makers, it's everybody.
Think about roadies, man. Like when you think about like how people go to shows, and like a lot of people slinging beers at shows, like don't necessarily think about that, like the guys in the band. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough to be a musician, but like the guys in the band, if you're seeing fucking Iron Maiden, those guys have been in the tour bus all day relaxing, and their crews working their ass off all fucking day, and then they got to work just as long to take everything down after the show, and the band's going and getting fucked up and, you know, doing heroin or whatever.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, that's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Probably not. Probably playing Scrabble.
Yeah.
Or like reading history books or
Yeah.
Or in like, even in kind of like, if you're putting your own tour together, you know it when a band comes through and they like have a best friend with them who's down to drive, down to sell merch, down to deal with whatever shit has to be dealt with before the show or after the show. It's always someone who's like deeply personally invested in the band, and they compensate them, but everybody knows how little money there is in the beginning, even in the middle stages. A lot of times it's just people who are just down for the cause or friends or whatever. Or in other bands who, you know, on their off time.
At our stage where we're at now, like, you know, sometimes we're at the point now where like, you know, we kind of need a fifth person, you know, like, I think we've done one or two with four, you know, just the four of us at this stage, but usually we need like kind of a fifth person. The drives are longer, you know, the merch responsibilities are more, you know, the venue is bigger, yada, yada, yada. We've had a lot of people over time that have come down, and it's exactly as you said, you really put that, you know, really well. But it's like, that's also what the band is doing as well. You know, the only difference is that that fifth man or woman is not like necessarily getting to be up there and be all flashy, like, look at me, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Which is, there's more glory, I think, in being like, again, like talking about roadies and whatnot, I think. But yeah, we've had some good people. Again, Anthony Lepardo, co-owner Westfall, like he's come out with us a couple times, and he's been fucking great. He just like, he doesn't really drink, so he's always down to drive after shows. He'll drive for fucking like 10 hours with not complaining or anything like that. Not only that, but like sometimes you get a person like that when you're just like kind of gripping the seats when they drive. But like,
He's a good driver.
Good driver.
He's good. I just want him
saving you money on hotel rooms.
Oh, dude, when you're driving through a mountain pass in Canada in December, you want to make sure you have a good driver and not some fucking lunatic.
Oh my God, man,
you don't tour in Canada in December? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've done all that. Fucking winter tours in fucking northern regions, summer tours in southern regions, and
It was curious. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole and pretty much watched every video on your channel at some point or another over the last week or so. That tour you guys, you know, did the little diary videos for. That was just the four of you on that one.
Well,
right? Or was there a fifth person?
There was Razzie.
No. Yeah, that was four of us, I think. Yeah. That one. Yeah.
And were you guys sharing gear with the other bands, or did you guys have? Was there a trailer? Because I never saw this. This is like in the weed shit.
I think all the bands had trailers. Yeah, I think it was all because we rock a van and a trailer, and I think the other bands, it was Steak Sauce Mustache was opening, and then us, and then the number 12 Looks Like You. Yeah. And I don't think there was any gear sharing. There might have been like one or two nights where like the setup was a little complicated, so like some cabs were shared or whatnot. But those bands were great.
I was feeling jealous because I saw your van and there was no gear piled in there, and people were laying down on the seats and stuff.
Oh, dude, believe me, we've done plenty of tours without a trailer. So
yeah. The Steak Sauce Mustache is funny. Our buddy Ryan, who's in Pound, toured with them at on the West Coast at some point here.
So two things I'll say quickly. One, Steak Sauce Mustache, I gotta take a second to say, like, aside from the fact that both of those bands on that tour, fucking wonderful people, everybody, not a fucking bad attitude in that bunch, and everybody's so amazing what they're doing. I will go a little bit further to say that I'm proud of my band. I think we're pretty damn good, and I'm talking more about my bandmates than me. I think I do enough to fit in. Point is, I think we're damn good. It's not often that like I'm concerned about a band before us kind of like blowing up off the stage or anything like that. Big Boss Mustache holds the crown for like band that we had to follow every night.
How do you follow that shit?
They looked fun.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, they put on such a fucking great show every single night. So consistent. And like there was just, you just wanted to find one thing like, yeah, they put on a great show, but like they're sloppy as fuck with their playing. Nope, they're not sloppy with their playing. Yeah, they're not sloppy and they put on a great show, but they're fucking dicks. Not dicks at all. They're total sweethearts. Like every night, I feel like they almost like they pretty much blew us off the stage. But
yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen Pound or seen any of their videos or met Ryan and David, but they're exactly the same. So it didn't surprise me. Like if Ryan's toured with someone and gives me the thumbs up that they're good to go, I trust him 100%.
So again, I don't want to fucking go on story time too much or digress too much, but I have to. The fact that you brought Pound up, I have to tell this story. Pound was on tour. I can't remember the exact details of how this worked out, but they were on tour with somebody and they crashed with our bass player Vin, lives with a couple good friends of ours, and they crashed there at the house. I think they were playing with number 12, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
So Vin lives close to the train station, and I was at like a different show in the city that night. And I came back from the train station, and I was parked at Vin's house. And I saw the van. I didn't know they were touring with Pound. I thought it was just number 12 staying at Vin's house. So I saw that van. I'm like, oh, I gotta fuck with him. And so I had, the only thing I had in my car was like a fucking like fold up camping chair, and I put it on the roof of the van. I don't remember trying to get into the van, but maybe I did. I don't know. Found out later that it wasn't number 12. It was Pound's van, and somebody was in the van, like while they were getting robbed.
Oh, shit.
on their like Instagram or something. The next day, they posted the picture with the chair on it. Like, we don't know who did this or who tried to break into our van.
I remember this. No, I remember this.
So.
I saw that, and I like commented on it. I was just like, it was absolutely, totally not me. I don't think I tried to break into the van, but even if it was me, it wasn't me, and I'm not admitting to anything, and it wasn't me.
Oh man,
that's amazing.
Yeah, you'll have to. Once they can tour again, those guys are relentless, and they'll be back. It made
me really want to play with them because like I hadn't heard of them before that, and like one that's so hilarious. I also felt like a little bad that I scared the shit out of somebody. Like, you know, I've done the overnight like, just in case somebody tries to break into the van.
Yeah, somebody sleep in the van.
Happen, but if somebody like fucking, oh my god, you know. But they sound fucking sick, man. You know.
Yeah, they're an experience. Like, it's
for sure.
Just not like it's not like anything else out there. Yeah, we've put them on a bunch of shows, and just the best dudes. Like the worst thing that'll happen to you with Pound is they'll make you chug chocolate milk.
Yeah,
like they do like a chocolate milk chug.
Choco chug.
Yeah, great dudes. Weird, crazy music. So it kicked off a little bit talking about scenes, and I continue to find metal to be really interesting because it's pretty regional still, you know, and it's pretty dependent on. I think that's a lot to do with the fact that it's kind of dependent on the live aspect, right? Like I like listening to all of you guys, but I always would much rather go see you. And so that requires kind of physical presence and proximity. And that's part of why I don't know you, but I know way more obscure bands from LA or the Bay Area or Portland or Seattle because they make it here 3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the scene like that you guys are in? Kind of who are the contemporaries that you guys fuck around with? Like,
there's a lot of cool shit going on Long Island. The thing is, like, Long Island kind of sucks, you know. It's like it's a love-hate thing. It's home. It's always going to be home. Geographically, it's one of the most beautiful places in the country, I think, having been all over the country. But yeah, a lot of it sucks, and I think like the fact that it's in the backyard of New York City is like there's a very conservative answer to New York City on Long Island.
Oh yeah.
And while that is very incredibly frustrating to live around all the time, it does, I think, breed a kind of like punk rock response to it.
Yeah.
So there's been like there's been a cool like house show scene and there's a lot of cool DIY stuff. Me and Nick used to live in our buddy Joe's house, and we used to throw these crazy like house shows where we decorate the house with a theme, and people would come in costumes. They have all sorts of different types of fucking bands and poetry nights and all this shit. And it's in the nooks and crannies, but there's a lot of that on Long Island. So, you know, it's Long Island, so you got your, you know, I don't want to finishing it all, but like you got your leftover like Taking Back Sunday and Brand New, kind of like emo to the pop punk to the, you know, and even like ska kind of scene. There's a lot of like indie rock stuff. There's a lot of hardcore. There's a lot of death metal. We ended up kind of
taking them all and putting them in one band.
And no show wants us.
Yeah.
But,
You're not hardcore enough. You're not metal enough. You're not.
Yeah, we ended up playing a lot of like the hardcore and the metal shows and stuff, which was interesting because like it made sense for us to play the heavier shows, but we didn't quite fit in at the hardcore shows. We didn't quite fit in at the death metal shows. Certainly didn't fit in at like the lighter, like indie kind of rock shows. But it's like different clusters, but it's strong, man. There's this one bar called Amityville Music Hall that's really like kind of home base for us, and you know, it's fucking business run by like former band dudes, and a lot of good shows come through. There's a lot of just really great camaraderie. Some of our good buddies, at least in like the heavier kind of aspect of things, are there's a band called Cryptodira that
I saw you holding that record up. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, they just put out a record like 2 days ago. It's fucking absolutely sick. And we've toured with them many times. Another band, Johnny Booth, is a band we've toured with Cryptodira with them a bunch of times. Yeah, there's a lot of like really good heavy hitters on the island.
Yeah,
where on the island are you guys?
So we're spread around Nassau County. I mean, Nick and his fiance just moved upstate, and I'm actually in the process of moving upstate. Ray,
yeah, I saw a post looking for a cottage in the woods somewhere.
Yeah,
trying to get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do for a long fucking time, and you know, I don't necessarily expect to find it. That's where I want to kind of end up, but hopefully I can find something a little. I don't know. I'm like a camper and like a, you know,
outdoorsy.
Yeah. So I live in the suburbs now, and even now I feel like fucking crowded, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I want to shoot people as soon as I walk out of my door.
That's funny. I mean, it's funny from this coast, like heavy music in New York is St. Vitus, and we kind of have this feeling like that's the only place where fun and interesting shit is going on, but no, I'm sure it's not true.
I kind of like, it is a very different, not very different thing, but it is a different thing. Brooklyn and Long Island are two different things.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
The heavier shows that we play on Long Island, you know, if the majority of the crowd, a small percentage will also be at the shows at Brooklyn and like at Vitus and whatnot, and vice versa. So there is a divide, not a divide in a competitive or anything like that. It's just that, like, you know, a lot, you know, there's only like a handful of people that will travel from Long Island to Brooklyn or from Brooklyn to Long Island.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think of the Bay Area, we're down south in San Jose, you know, less than an hour up one side of the peninsula, and I'm in San Francisco, less than an hour up the other side, and we're in Oakland. And, you know, the scenes are actually really different. Like, Oakland is the crusty metal town, for sure. Like, Oakland's where you go to see dirty, smelly, unintelligible short songs. And, you know, San Francisco is a little bit more diverse, but, you know, has some good dives still. And San Jose is just kind of passed over because we're in the radius. So any, you know, major acts that are, you know, radius or have a hard time stopping here.
You can play San Francisco or you can play San Jose.
Yeah, it's hard, man. We bit off a lot trying to promote kind of mid-level shows around here, but somebody had to do it.
I mean, hey, man, I get it. We're fucking like, we're with really no traffic. We're 45 minutes outside of New York City. But if you really want to drive in the city, it's going to be an hour, a little over an hour, you know. So, you know, that's where most. I mean, there's still cool shit that comes out to the island, but a lot of the shit, you know, goes to the city. Luckily, that's just get the railroad and you get fucked up on the train and just.
Yeah. I rode that train once from the city to Long Island. My sister-in-law lived in East Setauket for a while.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's still
Setauket, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Setauket.
Setauket, yeah. So I've taken that train from the city late at night after hitting the bars, and then what's that?
You ride the drunk train?
I think so. Yeah, I think that was the one.
It was like fucking Jersey Shore type of people, just like couples getting into fights and shit.
Yeah, I actually think I remember my brother-in-law calling it the drunk train.
That's the Long Island Railroad. Yeah, the drunk train back from the city is always just the
best choice.
Yeah,
the collection cuts of society and humanity.
Yeah. Well, and JD grew up in Salt Lake City, and I grew up here, and you know, there's public transit in the Bay Area, but when you're south where I am, nobody uses it. So it's like when I was an adult and went to cities that had real mass transportation, I was like, whoa, this is wow, this is cool.
I can get around.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's pretty sick. You know?
They need a band car though. I need to be able to load my gear.
Yeah.
And then I thought somebody needs to come up with like a band Uber, so that if you're doing like local shows, you could just get a van for the night, have somebody drive, roadie, work the merch table, drive you home safe, and then park the van.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
You should have said that publicly. You got
out loud.
Yeah, I know.
No, I claim it.
Claim.
My brother's a copyright attorney.
Technically, you have the idea. It's yours.
Listen up. Yeah, no, I'm sure somebody's had it. And fuck, man. So we rented once from Bandigo. I think I think there's a Bandigo in New York City, but they rent out band sprinters and black vans and stuff. And what are they doing? I think they converted all of their vans to like camper vans during.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they flipped and started a new business renting people out vans to go camping.
Yeah, man, I mean, you know, they got to do what they got to do to survive. It's fucking tough, man. You know, like I don't know. Hopefully by this summer, shit will be back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about just in nightlife and entertainment and like, you know, dive bar to 500 cap venue entertainment, not to mention obviously all the big companies and the big venues, but I worry about the corporate entities less because, you know, there's like 5 companies that own all of that shit now. But you think about how many people are affected in the blast radius of not being able to go to the corner dive bar and see a rock show. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well,
like
you brought up like St. Vitus before, and like that's another thing that like I worry about. You know, like say the venue I mentioned, Amityville Music Hall, like same thing, but like I kind of went on like the Long Island side of things, but like we're also like we're not a Brooklyn band, but like, you know, we kind of cut our teeth there as well as Long Island. And like if we're playing New York on a tour, you know, sometimes we'll do Amityville, but a lot of times it's Vitus. That's definitely one of our home bases, and we're really we're family with a lot of bands from Brooklyn. And I think about like if Vitus went down, fuck man, that would just suck because that's like Mecca in New York.
It is.
For metal heavy music, there's nothing else like that. You know?
Yeah, and Todd, who was it that we were talking to that said, you know, they'd rather play 2 or 3 nights in a row at Vitus than one show at a bigger venue.
It was great. Christian, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Christian from Horrors. That's who it was.
Yeah, I would understand why they would like playing Vitus too.
Oh, it's just rowdy and fucking up close and smelly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he said he'd rather do like 3 nights at Vitus than 1 night at a big venue.
Yeah,
I will say I think there's also another difference to make is like Brooklyn and Manhattan. Like if you're bigger and like playing something like a venue that like maybe Mastodon would play in the city or something, it's a little bit different. But if you're playing like smaller clubs, I feel like as a metal band or a heavier band, I feel like Manhattan's kind of a waste of time.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
If you're like 100 to 250 cap, what's Vitus, like 200?
Probably something like that.
I would say. Yeah. This is what it looks like anytime I see pictures, or haven't been able to go see a show there yet.
Yeah.
But
it's a club, but it's a pretty big room, you know, like, but yeah, it's a club. It's a club bar kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Someday I'll get there. Someday. But for some reason I travel for work a lot and I end up in Boston all the time, and I've been to all of the great metal venues in Boston multiple times. But New York, I don't know. It always like I'm in Manhattan or I'm there for a really short time and I don't get a chance to like sneak out and do my thing on the side.
Yeah. It's kind of like what tour is though. You know what I mean? Like if you're lucky, you get a little bit of time to fucking scope some shit out. But for the most part, just like load in, motherfucker, warm up, play, get the fuck out of here, drive 30 hours, you know.
Yeah, when we toured back from South by Southwest last year, we were supposed to play in New Mexico after we played in El Paso, and the venue like canceled the show the night before, and I was like, fine. I was like, we need to get from El Paso to Phoenix or whatever, and we have an extra day. Sounds good. Yeah, that's super interesting country there. That's a part of the country that I like to drive around in. So
that's where the UFOs
I don't
are.
remember the name of the road. I have a big map on my wall with all the roads and everything, but going along the south, like El Paso I don't know if it's the one that goes to Phoenix, but it's along the southern border.
So 10 is on the border, and then 40 is the one that's higher up.
I think it might be 10. Is 10 also the notorious one that you get busted on? Like
both of them are. And 40, you hit the border in El Paso, because El Paso is right on the border. Like Juarez is like, you're looking at Juarez on the other side of the city.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I feel like we were driving through at night, and I think I remember, we were seeing a big city like that we knew was like Mexico.
Yeah.
Or in Mexico.
If you were coming from Austin or Dallas, you would have been on 40. God, car talk. We had weather talk before you got here. Then we got fucking road
maps,
road talk. What other boring?
I've been at home for so long. I just want to talk. I want to talk about the van, the stink carpets, and all that shit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The tour that we rented a Sprinter on, we rented the kind that has like the back cargo area is sectioned off like 8 feet deep. So you have the inside of the van with all the seats, and then all the gear and shit was locked up in the back. God, that was like, it's funny that that's like total luxury, but it was so much luxury compared to what we're used to. It was fucking great.
Yeah. Dude, our van, like it's like a Chevy, like the normal like passenger van kind of thing.
Yeah.
We took 2 out. We bought the van from Fit for an Autopsy. We had a problem where like it was actually, as opposed in addition to like right now or in a week from now, like this will be a year since we've toured, which makes me want to fucking barf right now.
I know, it's insane.
We've done that was like a couple years back, and the first show we had of a tour, we were going to play in Albany, and we got to the Bronx and the fucking van just died on a hill.
Oh.
And we got in touch with Pat from Fit for an Autopsy, and like their van is in Jersey. So like 2 of us drove to Jersey to get the fucking van. They let us use it for that tour. And then after that we bought the van. So fucking Fit for an Autopsy saved our ass there. But yeah, we had their van, passenger van. Sorry, I go on a lot of tangents, but
no, this is good.
That's the point.
That's what this is all about.
As I said, I'm fine with the fucking road, so I'm good, But yeah, we took the back out, and like they had like a bed frame that was like just like a solid plywood like 2-seater thing. And I cut it in half down the middle, and then made it shorter, so it's almost like a 1 bed or a bench if you want to sit on it, so I can sleep 1 person on the floor part, 1 person on the bed, 1 person on the bunk, and 1 bench, another bench, and then if we have a 5th man, they just have to suck it up and sleep in the front or whatever. Well, they wouldn't have to, but one of us would have to, But
yeah.
But even that is just like has been. So there's still piss bottles and everything like that rolling around.
Yeah.
But not having the gear in the van is fucking wonderful,
Yeah, it's so scary. And the last time we had the gear in the van, it was like somebody had to sleep out there, but that was a problem bandmate who was not in the band as soon as tour was over. So I don't think he did us any good, other than maybe like if someone broke in, he might have puked on them, or like scared the shit out of them, like a homeless guy fucking fell asleep in the van.
Dude, I've done those overnight sleeps in the van, like, and it's just like I have like like whatever beat stick we have in the van ready to go, like whether it's a piece of drum equipment or just a fucking random metal slab. And like those nights, like every little thing I'll hear just like, oh, but it's like, what am I really going to do? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Am I going to fucking whack somebody in the head that's going to shoot me? Like over a guitar? I don't know. But like,
yeah, we just got insurance for everything. That was my plan. Yeah. We bought music equipment insurance and said, we'll figure it out.
Have fun. Write some dope shit.
Yeah.
Write some dope shit.
Enjoy carrying that meat smoke around. It weighs 100 pounds. Like,
yeah, good luck loading in, asshole.
Fuck you. Yeah. That was one thing I actually, you know, we'll probably talk about the band and the music a little bit more at the end. But it is one thing I really love is you guys write a lot of interesting lines for me, because on the recordings, everything's like really clean, clear. And so I wouldn't be surprised when I saw your stage setup if you guys had racks and were, you know, running modelers or whatever, patches. But it's an acoustic kit, 3 pieces. It's real amps. It's fucking 2 giant Mesa Boogie 15-inch bass speakers. So it has like, I don't know, the real heft and weight that you... Those bands that show up with all that gear into the tiny venue with the bad PA, I always feel terrible for, because like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how's anyone going to hear this? It's going to sound terrible.
Yeah. No, we're very much, you know, we'll do a lot in terms of the production on a record, and, you know, like layer some guitars and try to find some really interesting sounds and whatnot. But we very much believe that like the live show is kind of a different beast, as long as it doesn't suck and sound like unintelligible, like, you know, like, but it's pretty straightforward. Like, that's kind of like when we get asked what our genre is a lot, you know, I always kind of just
how do you
like,
answer that?
I just say heavy rock and roll, because like if
Nice.
you look at the albums, there's all these things you could pick apart, but like if you go to our live show, it's just fucking like a guitar, a bass, a drum set, and a singer, and like loud as fuck, and sometimes it's a little sloppy, but the energy's there, and I don't know, it's just, you know, we kind of, that's our mentality with live shows, is just like, you know, like play your shit right to the best of your ability, but also like bring the ruckus, you know.
Yeah,
and,
I think you can get away with a little sloppy when you bring the ruckus.
yeah. There's
Well,
got to be a ratio of like notes you can lose for percentage of ruckus gain.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Percentage of ruckus, and it like goes
You
up
can't do
and
the math though, because if you do the math, then it's not real ruckus. It's not rock and roll.
Yes.
yeah, and it varies with the venue too. Like if the venue doesn't have a stage, I think you can play 20% fewer notes.
Yeah.
And than whatever like the average is.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it was you know, looking at live clips and then listening to the recording, the guitars are obviously the part where he's really going to have to walk a fine line between writing this complex shit that's hard to play, like the main part, and then he's got a part underneath it and a part over it, and you're just like, fuck, man. But the live clips I saw, it sounded great.
Sounded great.
Yeah, it sounded really good. So
Nick does an excellent job of just like, you know, putting on such a great live show, but also not making a person think about the difference between the album and the live performance. And I can say it unbiased because Nick and Ray were in a band called Exemption before Moontooth, like right before Moontooth. And Moontooth formed because Exemption ended. And they were, you know, our buddies from our hometown. So I used to, you know, go and see their shows, and I fucking loved seeing them play. So I can say it unbiased a little bit.
yeah,
Nice.
for sure. Yeah, no, I read that. There was a Rolling Stone article, I think, where they interviewed you, where you talked about that a little bit. It was interesting because when we listened to the 2 records, we were like, these are kind of 2 different records. Like the first record, and after reading the article, it made sense because that was some material that they brought in from, you know, the other project, kind of not really massaged and worked on by all of you, versus Crux, which is really like a whole band effort.
Yeah. Chrome and Paragon was us kind of figuring out who the fuck we were, you know? And Crux was us kind of like having figured it out a little bit. And
yeah, that's exactly what he said when we talked about it on the first episode. He's like, that first album is like, hey man, we got something here. This is interesting. We're kind of figuring it out. And then it just fucking sucked together. But all the pieces,
12 tracks, long album, fucking weird fuck, you know?
Yeah,
It's great though.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, I think this is sort of a good segue to like, I'd love to know your influences.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how did you get started in music? What were your early influences? And I would love to talk about like how you learned to sing, because you fucking blow me away. I mean, like when I first heard those albums, I was just like, well, it's funny because I always tell Jeff, like, you know, we've talked about on the show, that is when we listen to music, I listen until I hear the vocals. And that is the point that I decide whether or not I'm going to turn it off or I'm going to keep listening.
Yeah.
And, you know, that night when we were listening, immediately when I heard the vocals, I was like, I'm not stopping. We're listening to every song on every album 3 times. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes that'll happen with me with bands where like I won't necessarily dig the sound of the band, but then the vocals come in. I'm like, all right, this will sell me on the rest of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there's an opposite effect, which is this music's fucking killer. It's amazing. And then the vocals come in and you're like, ah, fuck. But it's not bad enough to stop me. Like, I'll keep going. But, oh God, I wish it was a little different or better.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, tell it. What are your early influences?
You sound like you're reading our early YouTube comments.
Oh, really?
I definitely got the most hate early on, at least.
That's hilarious.
Well, no, and I'm just, before you talk about influences, like I was going to say, because one of the things that there's this band that I would say it's from Washington, D.C., an early fucking, oh my God, Discord band called Shudder to Think. And immediately when I heard you singing, it took me to Craig Wedren from Shudder to Think, and I was just like, holy fuck, like nobody's had this vocal delivery, the way your vocal phrasing comes out, like it's like holy shit. And it was, it just blew me away. And he's one of those guys that band, people love them or they fucking hate them because they can't stand the way he sings.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, man, I mean, in terms of my influences, the ones that come through the most in this band, I think in terms vocally, it's a lot of like blues and R&B. Some of my favorite shit in the world is the really like kind of like gritty like Delta blues kind of stuff. Like I've said this before in interviews, but I gotta re-say it because it's just the perfect way to say it. Like if it's getting played on a TV at Best Buy and there's 47 people on stage and like 13 guitars and stuff like that, like I'm not so much of just like, it's just so too clean and I don't know, it's just like white blues. I don't know, I hate to say it like that, but shit like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, like those classics, Robert Johnson obviously, shit like Junior Kimbrough, R.L. Burnside, a lot of shit on like Fat House.
R.L. Burnside, fuck yeah.
Like I love that fucking shit. Something about it is like I don't know. It's like when
it's
you
the emotion.
It just hits you and like
feel it.
It hits you in a way where like it hits you like a truth hits you, like gravity is, or like how the sun shining on your back will warm you up or something. Like it's an undeniable like truth that just kind of hit me and took me. And so that's probably the biggest thing. And like obviously that branched off into like R&B and a lot of like Motown shit, and I love that. Otis Redding is one of my fucking favorites. But yeah, so in terms of vocally, a lot of that shit, which is what ends up making its way into Moontooth. Yeah. Which, but like classic rock too, a lot of like Led Zeppelin, you know what I mean? Which makes sense because they're like a heavyish classic rock band with blues influence.
Stealing all the blues. Yeah. But a lot of that shit. But I mean, like it's weird because I also, some of my favorite music is honestly a lot of like indie rock. Like in the past like 10 years or so, that's been mostly, I'm probably what you listen to.
What's up?
That's what you listen. That's what you throw on if like I'm going to listen to music right now.
A lot of times. I mean, it's varied, but like that's one of the kind of bigger things that kind of resonates the most, and maybe that has something to say about like weird choices I might make, or that finds a way to fit interestingly with what the other guys are doing. I definitely listen to heavy music the least of everybody in the band, probably. But the thing is, everybody in the band listens to all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Just that, like when I was younger, I was into nu metal and fucking Slipknot. And Korn was my first concert and all that,
It's fine.
Awesome.
But I still love Tool, and like Tool's one of my favorite bands and whatnot. And,
yeah, we were at the Tool show was the last arena show we went to before everything shut down.
Oh, you did?
So the last 3 shows we went to were the Mr. Bungle reunion thrash show in San Francisco, my all-time favorite band, Tool, and then we ran a show we played with our buddies, Year of the Cobra. It was just like a Seattle 2-piece doom band. It was like all over the place.
Damn, dude, so you got some like really like important shows in there, right?
I did, yeah, we did.
We did, yes.
We did. No, dude, I tried to explain this. Like people are casually familiar with Mr. Bungle. They're like, oh, they put out a new record. It's like, no, you don't understand what they did. What they did was they rediscovered their 16-year-old selves and wrote and played the greatest thrash album that ever existed. And they showed every other thrash band from the 80s that the best one was Mr. Bungle, and nobody knew it. Like, they fucking absolutely demolished. That was like the most incredible straight ahead thrash metal show I've ever seen. It was fucking
Can you
phenomenal.
imagine if that was in the works? Like, and like, the one thing that I think about is, didn't My Chemical Romance, weren't they going to do like a big reunion tour?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Totally nixed because of the fucking pandemic. Can you imagine if that happened with Mr. Bungle? That would have fucking sucked.
I would have cried. No,
Yeah.
I bought those tickets the day they were available, like I think almost a year in advance. I mean, I grew up here. I was in high school in the late 80s and early 90s. I followed Mr. Bungle around when they were nobody. I saw every version of them except for this version, which was when they were still way in Northern California.
Their high school band.
Their high school band, right? By the time I saw them, they had come to San Francisco and there were horns and weird shit going on. So I never got to hear that version of it. So it was so cool to get to hear it. But with, I mean, Trey and Trevor are like two of the most spectacular musicians on the planet. And Trey never plays, you never see him play guitar anywhere. Trevor does a lot of different stuff, but Trey is such a phenomenal guitar player. It was just so great to see him live. So I hope they keep doing it, man. Those shows were so successful that I can't imagine they won't.
Yeah. You know, like I don't know how much we should get into this, but like, of course, because like the fact that you said y'all for like Tool, like I want to ask what your thoughts were for Fear Inoculum. Like,
I fucking loved it.
He loved it.
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was so good. But it was definitely the Danny Carey show.
Yeah,
I liked it.
That's a Danny Carey album that then he let them come and write some parts to go over his drum solos.
Yeah. But I think too it was to me, Fear Inoculum was sort of a combination of all of my favorite songs off of the previous albums that were those ones that didn't fit. It was, like what's the one split in two or whatever?
Oh,
what
yeah.
the hell's that one called?
I was gonna fucking say that.
Yeah.
Right into. Yeah,
Yeah.
right into. I mean, that to me, that was where Fear Inoculum came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I was kind of disappointed, but here's the thing: like, it's not about like just because like you can't hold a band to some standard just because they do something that like you don't necessarily like, and you can't call it a bad album. That's not why I didn't enjoy it as much. I just felt like I wanted to see a little bit more exploration,
Yeah.
I mean, Danny Carey is one of my favorite drummers. It's Danny Carey and Bonham are probably, and maybe like John Theodore, the Mars Volta, like, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to see, I think I just saw too many old tricks happen.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything that sounded new. I heard really well refined versions of things that I had already heard.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen to a couple songs, but I have not gone back and listened to the whole album.
I've listened to the whole album 30 times on repeat.
But I don't know. But again, like, there's so many things that come into play. Like, I mean, they've been doing it for how long? And then they're in a fucking 10-year fucking legal battle of all this shit. So like,
digital rights. And because they all don't agree on what to do about all that shit, so the tension is in the band. They're not all on the same. We could have that Mars Volta discussion that I had online the other day and got yelled at. Pridgeon or Theodore. I just posted a random video of Pridgeon doing something, and everyone was like, "Oh, Theodore's better," or whatever. It got ugly.
Just different,
Different.
Pridgeon is fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's a crazy ass drummer. Theodore, I fucking love. I don't know. I like first time I ever smoked weed. Like, I loved Mars Volta so much before that, and I was only a drummer at that time. I started off as a drummer, and loved Mars Volta. Fucking got high for the first time, and I remember like being in my buddy's car and gluing in the back seat, gluing the side of my head to the speaker, and listening to Roulette Bears, which is probably my favorite song by them. And I could see his fucking kick drum pedal, and I could finally understand. I'm nowhere near as good of a drummer as he is. Nowhere near. I'm nowhere near as good as my drummer is. Who was also really good, but
you could see it what he was doing.
Fucking great about what he does. I don't
Yeah.
know. We're getting off on a
Well,
tangent.
it's funny because everybody just got their Spotify, year ends, and my Spotify year end, my most listened to album was Francis the Mute. I mean, it was an album that came out 8 years ago, and that was my most listened to album of 2020.
That's crazy. It's a great record.
That's so fucking good.
No, I've been listening to the Bedlam and Goliath a lot this year for some reason. I love that record. And Pridgeon is local, and he's like fucks with all the local jazz players. So there's a little jazz club in downtown San Jose that's 10 minutes from my house on a Friday night. He's just down there in the front window playing jazz. Yeah, you can see him whenever you want.
Dude, Ray fucking worships Thomas Pridgeon, man. Like, dude, if he was going down the side of the road one day and just saw him playing in the window.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try and get him on. I'm gonna reach out and see if we can get him to do an episode. Yeah, it'd be really cool. Amazing, man. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we haven't listened to any music.
We should listen to some music.
That's kind of what we're supposed to do.
This.
So what we do is we have hundreds of emails still, and I pulled songs randomly today. Didn't listen to them. Don't know what they are. It's all news to me.
So you're saying that we're listening to this blindly?
We're blindly. Yeah. Brilliant. And we'll kind of start them, give it a little bit, let it mature, see where it goes, and then pause, give a check-in, see if I'd keep listening to this, or I want to hear a little bit more.
We're just trying out a couple songs here, or what's?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So
bands send us just any song. We don't listen to it ahead of time, and we just give it airtime. And we listen, and we
I like that a lot.
Give our opinions.
Yeah. So Trevor was brutal.
Trevor was fucking brutal,
but it was hilarious. But he was the first one. He's like, I was like, he just got an Angle endorsement, so the like amp guy showed up at his door to deliver an amp, so he wandered off while we were interviewing him as we were listening to a song, and then we came back, he was just talking about his amp. I was like, do you remember anything that you just listened to? And he goes, nah man, but I don't care. I think those guys know I don't like them. and then pulled out his pedal and started talking about his new amp.
What a jerk.
So it's from that to like, hey, this just isn't my thing. Which is
then Alyssa never wanted to say anything bad about any band.
Oh yeah, Alyssa.
She was very good.
She wanted to be
them,
nice
listened,
to everyone.
gave them advice.
All right, so
I'm gonna pee, but I can hear everything. My bathroom's right there.
All right, yeah, we're gonna
we'll get stuff pulled up and ready. We'll edit this out.
You can't see me. You don't want to see what
I'm not editing shit out. P breaks stay in. P breaks stay in. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I have a tiny bladder too, and now this is like breaking the seal, so it's gonna be a lot.
You and me, bro. No.
Play that track.
Woo! Time to buy a club.
All right, so the first song that we are going to listen to was from a Serbian record label. Submitted a bunch of music, and the one that I grabbed was a band called Dishate.
Dishate?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not Dishate?
It might be. it might just be Dishate.
Ooh.
I hope not, because that'd be weird.
That would be weird.
And the song that we're going to listen to is called Under the Sun, Earthly Under the Sun.
Earthly Under the Sun.
Yeah, and I need to grab this. No one cares about this part. So I can start a screen share. So all of you people, if you're just listening to the podcast, there's a video element to this. All the episodes go up on YouTube. And when we're looking through, when we're looking through this stuff, we actually share their Bandcamp pages so that you can kind of get an eye, take a look at the album art.
Your audio?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
So can you see that up on your screen now?
I can. I was actually I got my phone out. I was gonna ask for the info, but this actually works better.
Yeah. Screen. No. So this was a record label from Serbia that submitted a bunch of bands, and I just randomly grabbed this one. This band is called Dishate, which JD suggested might be Dishate.
Could be Dishate.
So they're working in a different language. So who knows? And then we are going to hear Earthly Under the Sun. All right, I can see JD's face already.
I'm wincing.
Not JD's thing. You fuck with any music like that?
Me?
Yeah.
Not usually. A lot of times, like we've toured with and played with bands like that many times, and I can really appreciate a good live show and get into it. But in terms of what I go to, like just on the day to day in my headphones, that's not normally.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's not that it never happens. It's just not common.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I like it, and there are some extreme genres that I like more than other, and some extreme bands that I like more than other, and it tends to be more like slower technical death metal and less just like crazy blast or black metal. I can get into some crust and some grind. You know, the songs are short, so you get like these little snippets of fun.
1 minute.
There was some weird like sound. There's some weird production stuff going on in the background. I can't tell if there were like keyboards or synths or something else going on.
Was there?
I don't know. I was just hearing weird sounds.
Yeah, the production I think was throwing me off entirely.
Yeah, I'm going through also like the fucking computer speakers, so it's not,
yeah.
I'm thinking that a little bit too as well. You know, so.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit tough when you're listening through your computer speakers. The
label is with a band. The label is Librarian.
The label is Librarian. They have a really big catalog on here. Actually, it's pretty intense, and it's a lot of like, you know, just judging by the album covers, kind of a lot of weird, out there, extreme.
That's scary.
Yeah, a lot of compilations and stuff. So check it out.
They just sent you guys stuff.
Yeah, they just sent us Bandcamp links. We put the word out and have other people put the word out, and then we get PR people know that we're doing this now, so we get submissions through labels and PR folks too. But mostly it's just bands sending us shit. This guy apparently runs this label in Serbia and puts out all this weird fucking music.
There's a lot of music.
Yeah,
it's a big Serbian label.
Yeah, so I'm impressed. Wait, what is this?
PUSSEYDONE?
Multiplayer PUSSEYDONE.
What?
Do it. You gotta at least try.
Yeah, no, we definitely tangent sometimes too, and I have.
Wait, is it like
Asian?
Japanese written next to it?
I don't know. I think so.
Oh.
I picked 6 songs, but I have a feeling we're only going to get through the first 3, which is fine. We can do the last 3 later.
Let her rip.
Let's check out PUSSEYDONE.
It's just pussy done, like pussy done, pussy dry.
I was gonna say I like this better than the one prior.
Well, that was penetration was just the 54-second intro.
Okay.
Now we get to fuck, which is the 2. I see what's going on here. 2 minutes and 57 seconds of fucking. So he's got like.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, that's my judgment. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Penetration, then, fuck, pussy done.
Okay, so a little bit of fuck.
Oh yeah, now we're getting a little more intense.
I'm not sure it's going to go much farther than this.
But I'm also just laughing looking at the album art too, because it's just like it seems like the whole endeavor is talking about one sexual encounter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's talking about the pussy, but it's like just these 2 dudes.
Yeah.
Who are looking at each other longingly. Like,
yes. And one of them is Kenny Powers.
Yeah. The ponytail.
Hey man, how do you feel about being 8-bit? I feel pretty good about it. Cool. Probably fuck, didn't we? Yeah, let's fuck.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is it done with pussy?
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Oh, maybe it's done with Pussy. Yeah, maybe this is what...
So this is our second most interesting submission in this vein. We had a song. Someone just sent us an MP3 file with no explanation other than the lyrics for a song called "Fucked by Bigfoot," and we were like, okay, and we listened to it, and then it flips at some point, and you realize that it's actually a guy that's getting fucked by Bigfoot, and it's like it was a really good turn in the song because it totally changed the picture, the dynamics of the song.
Oh wait, is this a guy?
All right. So, if you think any of this batshit crazy stuff that Librarian is doing out of Serbia looks interesting to you, I mean, we got crazy album covers.
Well, when you compare the first thing we listened to,
let me say this: like, I might make a joke or two. Normally, I don't like to fucking publicly like rag on a band or anybody for fucking having the guts to put music out
completely.
there.
Yeah,
100%.
But I will say, like, this is dope because like we checked out two things on this whole fucking like catalog. And they were drastically different. I have a lot of respect for any organization that like has a lot of diversity in sound and styles and just fucking weird shit is great, you know? Like
yeah, and I mean I stopped saying it, but a caveat to all of this is fucking kudos to every band who just or every label who just makes something and puts it on Bandcamp. And I'll preemptively say, or even ask you, we've been asking almost everybody this, like, what do you think about a band? Like, say we listen to something and it's kind of shitty, and you can tell they're probably kind of new. It was done in their basement. It was their first time out. What do you think about the legacy of a band just putting stuff up on Bandcamp and then improving over time? You think it hurts you to have that old shit lying around or that impression of you, or do you think people accept it now, like the work in progress?
I think it's I think it'll hurt you if it's on like something like Spotify, where if somebody hears your name in a magazine or something and they go to look for you, and that's, one of the things that they find, maybe. But I think it's cool to have all of your shit on Bandcamp. Kind of, as you say, I think it's cool to see that
progression.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to fucking come up or something, I think it's important that, like, it's such bullshit, with like Spotify and everything, and just all that shit is just so much malarkey, but it does help getting music out there. And like, if you want to spread your music, make sure the music you want being spread is being spread and not something you did when you were 18 and figuring it out,
Well, and think about it this way as a fan, though. Like, aren't there bands that you love that you would love if you could go to Bandcamp and hear an archive of like their pre-production or demos?
Like, fuck yeah, I love and times that I have. One thing is I love Coheed and Cambria, and I remember when I like got into them, it must have I was probably still using like fucking LimeWire or something like that. I remember getting like demo versions of shit that was from their first album, Second Stage Turbine Blade. And I remember listening to the proper album later when I bought it and thinking like, wait, this sounds totally fucking different, and realizing that they were like earlier demo versions. And I just think that's so fucking cool that there's other versions of shit out there, and
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, talking about being depressed about missing shit. That Mastodon Coheed and Cambria tour. What the fuck was that? I was that actually. Oh no, that one actually happened. Or did it get canceled?
No, I think it happened.
It happened.
I went to it. Yeah, I saw him at Coney Island.
I missed it because I was traveling.
You were traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We had tickets, but I think we sold them because I didn't want to go alone.
Oh.
I missed you, man.
Aw. That's sweet. Yeah, no, Coheed's something I've gone back to a lot actually over the last 9 months and listened to, introduced my kids to, and frankly, the Black Parade has been spinning at my house quite a bit. I think Gerard Way is a real interesting creator. We watched that series that he had on Netflix, and then it's so cool. That guy's just got.
I always liked random My Chemical Romance songs, and it was like a couple months back that like I actually kind of like put on Three Cheers for Revenge. I'm like, let me check this out, and like let it play. I'm like, this is fucking pretty good. Like this song holds up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Same thing with Black Parade. Like I gotta spend more time in that.
Yeah, I have JD and I have a matching set of 12 and 13-year-old daughters who are best friends and deeply exploring an early goth phase.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
very much so. It was like, here's the Black Parade. Listen,
Listen to this.
Listen to this.
Have they listened to AFI at all?
No, but
No.
we should get them into
Give
that.
them, give them Sing the Sorrow.
Yeah, Sing the Sorrow was good.
That's-
So
I'm
was
sure
Sunset,
AFI
Black Stars in the Sunset.
Like fucking something earlier, but
Yeah, we used to practice in the studio in Redwood City that they practiced in, and my singer Grimace at the time was the building manager, and they had this whole attic. There was this huge upstairs attic, and whenever we were like, oh fuck, I don't have a cable or whatever, he'd always let us into their room. and we'd snatch shit from the room. We'd always put it back. Yeah. That was funny. All right, so this is another one. I had no intention of doing this, but hey, why not be spontaneous? How can we not listen to
Turbo Kitten?
Turbo Catan?
have to, yeah.
Yeah, Turbo Folk Najmata.
So is this language? Is that Serbian?
You have questions?
Does Serbian look like Japanese?
I don't have fucking answers.
There's got to be some kind of like
distribution
I don't
in
wanna talk
Japan.
about proximity because geography isn't my fucking strong point, but you know, sometimes like there's different you know, in the fucking 1800s or like some other time, like there was like a colony set up and then like a community developed, so there's this kind of cross culture thing, and maybe it's something.
Or the Japanese are really good at consuming obscure shit. So it might just be that this guy got a distribution deal. One of his bands like fucking blew up in Japan. And so now that's his, major revenue source is fucking selling records in Japan. So he just prints everything in multiple languages. Maybe. It's happened to weirder bands. All right, let's hear this.
Turbo Kid.
Intro. I don't want to hear any intros. I want to get straight into the shit. All right,
interesting.
Hold up.
Late at night, gone on my own.
Yeah.
Look in the score. I knew I recognized.
Yes, I knew I recognized that.
I hate that band so much.
Has been used many times, but that's the first thing that pops in my head. The vocal note is almost the same as it.
Could you hear the weird subliminal monster voice in the background that was like, kill you?
What? No, I didn't hear that.
Oh fuck, man! What? Listen, how did you not hear that? Okay,
hold
just
on.
Listen.
Okay. Oh, I could hear that, but I didn't know it was saying anything. It just sounded like somebody talking.
Yeah, it's like, and there's like weird horror movie plinking sounds and shit.
They're
like, how many tracks can we have? As many as you want.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try something out. Tell me. Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
I got my in-ears.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, do that. It will improve the experience.
Can you still hear what I'm saying?
Yes, totally.
We can hear you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Zoom has really good audio controls, so you can actually split everything up, and we're running through an interface for some things and just through the computer audio for other because it works.
I don't know. Right. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to work because I love the sound of my voice and I can't hear myself. I'm just kidding.
All right. Keep listening.
Is this a submission or is this a random kind of one?
So this is
sort of.
So we just started flipping through the rest of this label's catalog. The label submitted their entire catalog.
Said pick something.
I picked Disharm. Disharm. Could be Disharm. But no, but I mean, how could we not listen to some of this other shit?
I mean, seriously.
That's the one we just listened to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a Sauron in the background going.
It's like the goth of Serbia.
Oh man, this is fucking brilliant.
It's like a love scene between two orcs in Mordor.
Yes,
It's just like set on the backdrop of war-torn Mordor.
War-torn Mordor. We will rebuild.
Or it's what we always expected, which was Sam and Frodo finally had that moment.
Their love moment.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the fucking soundtrack for it.
Yes. Oh, Sam.
All right.
Oh my god.
Samwise. Okay.
I can carry you.
Believe it or not, that's not the first time that's come up on this podcast.
Yeah?
No, we talked about Lord of the Rings fan fiction.
Of course.
Yeah. All right.
That was right after the Bigfoot fan fiction.
Yeah, that was with Nighthawk from Heavy Temple.
Yes.
Heavy Temple. That episode is also the episode that has the fucked by Bigfoot. So that's a high quality episode.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. So second actual submission is a band called North Star the Wanderer.
Ooh, North Star the Wanderer.
That's very. We talked with Christian. It's not out yet about these like band name conventions. Like,
oh yeah,
and one of them is like the long phrase,
noun, adverb, pronoun, verb. No.
Yeah. We had an ongoing joke about like bands that are like techie instrumental kind of shit. Just like just make a band called Plural Nouns.
Yeah,
it's like one word plural nouns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
plural nouns.
That's a good one.
I don't want to name anybody, but you know.
No.
Like,
yeah.
No, I'll give a pass to one of my favorite of those of all time for having an ellipses in their band name is Behold ... the Octopus.
The Octopus.
never heard of that, but
yeah, go scramble your brain and listen to that.
Scramble.
Octopus?
Octopus, like it's like a cyborg octopus. And that, well, actually, I think one
like
of the
Arctic octopus.
Yeah, ARCTO.
Octopus.
And I think one of the albums is called Nanonucleic Cyborg Octopus. I think, or maybe that's
I don't know
band.
about the octopus part, but everything else sounds right.
All right, let's play a game. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll describe it for you. We are looking at the cover of the album for North Star the Wanderer, and it's like a white scene with like all white. A portion of it kind of Christmas tree shaped is ripped through, and there's like a universe in the background, and then there's a deer centaur thing.
Well, it's I don't think this is a word, but it's like a centress.
Centress.
Yeah, it's a lady centaur, and she's shooting an arrow through the white background, and the arrow has split the white background to reveal the universe behind it, and almost like it's wider, like the wake from a boat.
Yeah, exactly. And almost like her shooting that arrow is revealing the mysteries of the universe.
And the text is in a nice capital Times New Roman.
Fucking dork. All right. Oh, progressive and primitive fighting each other. Ooh. What do you think? What do you think about that little paragraph down there and how much or how little you should say?
Progressive and primitive and fight each other.
Yeah, like that's where you get to describe your band.
I think like when it comes to something like that, if somebody's going to like a Bandcamp page, like I recently learned what TLDR means, which I saw that a couple times. I posted like, what the fuck does that mean? And then somebody finally told me, and I thought it was just hilarious, just so dismissive. But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, like hit them something strong, like progressive and primitive fighting each other. That's awesome. You know, like
I would listen to that.
Cool, great. That intrigues me. Like if it was a long, drawn out thing, I'd be like, all right, let me buckle down and read this, and then I'd just give up.
It's good because it's abstract. I'm the same as you. I just call us a heavy rock band, and like, all right, you figure out what that means.
I want to know what the primitive.
Yeah, well, they use real amps. Is my guess.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think they use real amps.
That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, primitive. Wow.
No modelers, no triggers.
Dude, if we get to a point where primitive rock is a category, then a genre, then the human race will have made it way further than I expected them to.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see what we're gonna hear. This is apparently a band from Boston. We're gonna listen to Silverwing.
Ooh.
Fretless.
Is it?
Yeah. All right, what do you think?
I'm still listening.
I'm gonna wait till y'all talk.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds like this might be a very early recording,
Yeah,
or like this is their first album.
Yeah, this is new. This is exactly what I was kind of wondering about.
It's almost like, this is your part. Okay, now it's your part. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. Okay, now it's your part.
They have something from 2018 here, but again, it's just like one song. It looks like they're just figuring out writing.
To me, it sounds like
production.
something that if it piques my interest, I would keep listening. I want to hear if there's a singer, and then, but I feel like a few more years from now, a few more albums, great production, it could be something that I'd really like.
That's the one thing I was going to say is the production is that like it's ambitious for whatever they're working with in terms of production.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot going on, like, and this is coming from somebody who, like, I used to, when I was much younger, I would take a USB microphone and take one of my socks and duct tape it around the end.
Yeah.
And hang it over the basement, like ceiling things over my drum kit. So like I'm no stranger to fucking like, you know, broke ass shit rigged, you know, kind of like recording setups. Not that that's what this sounds like at all. But yeah,
I think we've all
it's
been
ambitious. There. Yeah. No, it's definitely like some production would help make it more clear. But I did, you know, we were talking about Tool, but like maybe it was just because we were talking about it, but like, you know, made me think like, you know, these guys might listen to Tool. Like,
definitely an influence.
Yeah. What do you think? Is there singing? If I scoot forward, are we going to hear
How long
some?
is the song?
This one's 5:57.
Pop a finger in the middle right there.
Where
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were like, let's see.
I think we just missed it.
Especially the like ba 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 da, da. Oh.
We all die. Sing songs you get told until 1,000 years ago.
It's like Tool or Mastodon. It's like Mastodon.
I was just gonna say,
worship.
it's definitely Mastodon kind of.
Well, here's what I'd say. You got two facial hair champions, so fucking and a chest champion with the low shirt. Keep at it. I think there's good elements.
There's something going on here that could turn into something fucking incredible.
Yeah, clearly they can play. Another thing, side note I want to say is that favorite thing, not like something I really like to do is when you look at a picture like this and you try to guess who plays what.
Yeah. Oh, no, totally.
I feel like I'm not good at the game, but it's a fun game to play. See, I don't know. Sometimes
player.
This is tough.
Fuck.
I want to say that the tall guy.
That
on the
might be
right
the
is
drummer.
bass player.
Honestly,
You think?
I'm gonna say Hoodie's the drummer.
Hoodie's the drummer.
Yeah. I think hair guy is the guitarist and maybe singer.
He's probably the mustache is probably the bass player, isn't he?
No, well,
No, mustache is usually the tall, lanky guy.
I feel like I
Did I
feel
say
like
mustache is the tall, lanky guy? No, bass is usually the tall, lanky guy.
Yeah. I'd take lanky. I got tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening on podcast, even if you don't want to watch the YouTube video, go to northstarthewanderer.bandcamp.com.
Follow along on Bandcamp.
Follow them, and then look at the band photo that they posted, which is, I think, fantastic.
That's a great photo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
no,
the-
there's nothing like incredibly unusual about the way they look. You know, they're handsome dudes. It's just trying to figure out. It's like I like playing that
Bass
game,
player.
but I don't think I'm good at that game. Like,
Yeah.
I sometimes think about it with my own band. Like, I don't know if I saw a picture of my own band and I wasn't me. I don't know if I'd be able to guess who played what. And people have incorrectly guessed
Yeah.
in interviews and shit like that before.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's actually a really good question. I will say, if you haven't gone and listened to the episode where we talked about you, don't unless you like Susie. Susie's rad. But I'll cop to like listening to you and then pulling up the photo and going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
And
I feel like I don't think we look. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm in it, but like I don't feel like we kind of look necessarily like a band. I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like we look as cool as we sound.
No. I definitely called you Joey Caputo. So just so you know.
Just so you know. Just putting that out there.
Dude, that's totally that makes sense. That's on point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bay Area. So I know nothing.
I mean, we're fucking hairy ass Italian dudes from Long Island. You know, what do you fucking want?
Yeah, that was that
You
would have
expect me
been.
to have a fucking 6-pack abs and long flowing hair? Never gonna happen, son.
I think even before we introduced you at the beginning, I'm like, we need to ask him, is it Carbone or Carbone?
It's Carbone, but like nobody ever knows that it's Carbone, Carbone, Carbone. Telemarketers always fuck it up.
Yeah, I know. I have the same problem with Jeff Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Ugh. It's a gringo.
What else we got here?
All right.
Where are we going?
So, third submission in this little batch here is a band called My Friend Zero, and the song is called Western Man. And again, they submitted this.
Ooh.
Western Man
From
is
this
that?
year?
Oh, no, they wanted us to play Sorest Loser. All right. Let's hear it.
What year is it from?
This is from...
I think it's new.
I think it's new. I think
Yeah?
it's like... Yeah, released October 27th.
I always want it to be new. If I find some
2020.
dope shit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I try, although we do go back sometimes and find older stuff. But yeah. Yeah, if like you release one thing in 2008 and you submit it to me, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
Just sorry. And we might miss something good
This is about discovering new music and bands that are still together.
that are still active. All right, Sorest Loser.
Ralph Nader, hop into your hot pink Corvette and ride 100 miles per hour into my billboard sign. Cold as ice, cold as ice, cold as ice, you're cold as I am the sorrow man. You facturing concern. I get to pick your
That's some good, like, indie, just
I
funky indie.
I like that. John?
Yeah, the first thing that came to my head was just like they said Ralph Nader, and I don't know if that triggered me thinking of presidents of the United States. What did
Yeah.
presidents of the United States do?
They were a band.
That the-
They were a
was that
fucking...
That wasn't the Pete and Pete band, was it?
That was
No.
Peaches, wasn't it?
No, that was Peaches and Lump.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
They're,
Lump.
Okay.
they're the dudes
Oh
who...
yeah.
took-
Them and then so it makes sense, yeah.
Or They
and,
Might Be Giants.
Apples in stereo.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
made me
Yeah,
kind
the
of think of
vocals
that.
were doing that for me. The vocals,
Yeah.
it was reminiscent of something.
So here, I'm gonna paint a picture here. So JD was born and raised in Salt Lake City, not a Mormon.
As not a Mormon.
The album, the title, the picture on the front, and then the picture of the guys in the band to me reads as three dudes who grew up in Salt Lake City who either weren't Mormon or were Mormon and left, and are just happily and cheesily grinding their axe.
And I'm actually going to put even something that more forward that probably only other people from Salt Lake would get. But I think these guys are probably, just looking at the photo and listening to the music, they're probably actually Orem or Provo.
Oh, really?
They're not actually Salt Lake. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Yeah.
Write me and let me know. But I'm guessing that you are actually from Orem or Provo.
Yeah, no, I didn't like.
It's
Go ahead.
It's funny. Like this, the picture definitely helped because one of my best friends, who's like a brother to me, Paul Motisi, who's an amazing artist, and he actually, did the artwork for Crux. He played in a band with his stepbrother, who is my other best friend and a good friend of ours, Brian, who passed away. And like they had a MySpace picture that was all three of them in a frame, and it almost looked exactly like that kind of photo. And the music it's different, but like not too far off. So this kind of made me think of like some shit that like I've definitely heard that could have been on Long Island. At some point.
It's kind of a cool print.
Oh, I like it. We're showing T-shirt art, and it's got the band name, and then the guy taking a selfie with a T-shirt that says
the Misfits font,
"Death by selfie," and then there's like figures and a phone. It's like dark. The themes and the imagery appear to be much darker than the music was, which is always fun.
Yeah,
to me.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I dig their aesthetic and kind of vibe. And,
it's fun.
I'd have to listen to a little bit more of it, but sounds cool. Yeah. I feel like looking at all of this stuff, their picture, the album art, the merch, and hearing the song makes me think that like I would probably enjoy the company of these gentlemen.
Yeah. I'm feeling
They'd
similar.
be fun to hang out with. They probably put on a good live show.
They actually did want me to play Western Man. I'm just.
Oh, that's not what you played?
No, I didn't. I played. I played the landing song, which was Sword of
the Western Man.
So,
yeah. Play the song they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Western.
Specimen A's a ghost town. He's got a proverbial tumbleweed blowing around him. One ear and out the other. Specimen B of the bottomy, right out of mid-century. Go ahead and try to make him blink in one ear and out the other. Oh well, he'll make a good soldier. Oh well, it's more cannon fodder. How can you really be so shallow? This is not a drill. Let's start a fire. This is
Paused.
It's so crazy but something that's coming across to me in this music is it almost sounds like sort of old school emo before it got associated with goth. It's like Jawbreaker, Jawbox, Jets to Brazil.
This
like
is some
happier.
90s kind of,
Yeah.
Another thing I thought of, and also maybe this is association with people that I know and love, but like, I thought of Harvey Danger too, and like something about like 90s kind of like alt rock a little before kind of emo was.
Yeah, what was that Harvey Danger song? The
one was Flagpole Sitta was the big hit.
Flagpole Sitta. Yeah.
That's right.
Fuck, man. I haven't thought about them in a long time. And what was the other band? The Smoking Popes.
The Smoking Popes.
Yeah. Fuck, they came through town.
I don't know if I know about that.
Yeah, it was like a croony pop punk. It was fun. It was like Frank Sinatra sings in a pop punk band. Yeah, we have
like
noticed
this.
actually. Nice we are old enough now. Keeps coming up. We're old enough now that my teenage and college glory years are nostalgia.
Yeah, now they're coming back.
People half my age are writing music that comes from my age.
Yeah, that comes from your age.
Just like we were writing songs.
It was better the first time.
Just like we were aping Zeppelin and Rush in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, it's no different.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Exactly.
All right, that's dark. All right, so that's it.
My friend Zero, good on you.
Yeah, no, we all like that.
Good on you. Good on you.
Say hello. Maybe I'll buy one of those shirts. I like that shirt.
That's a cool shirt.
So, one thing we've been doing, just because we really like Bandcamp as a platform and think they're doing a good job of kind of exploring nooks and crannies of music.
Me too. Yeah, I really like Bandcamp.
Yeah. So, all the articles and features and write-ups that they do. So we had been pulling a song or an artist that they feature that had a cool story from, wherever, whatever genre. This week is fucked because they just released all of their best ofs for the year. And so we could spend 2 episodes just going through like the 3 best ofs by genre, just what they think. But actually what I did is I jumped into the best of soul.
Nice.
And
let's do it.
Yeah. And grabbed a cool artist, if I can ever get my computer to work, that they featured in kind of their best of situation. This is fucking dope. All right, so her name is Witch Prophet.
Which you already listened to it?
Which if you didn't see it, no, I just read the story.
Oh, okay.
Which if you didn't see it, Witch Prophet would be a stoner band.
Oh, 100%. That's a doom band right there.
Yeah. But they're not. So her name is Io Leilani. The album is called DNA Activation. It's a mission of love. She meticulously gathered Ethiopian, Eritrean folklore, family history, and even the meanings behind loved ones' names to tell stories about her life and the life of those who shaped her. And she's singing in multiple languages, like in Ethiopian and some like ancient Egyptian or whatever they understand about languages. And this is looks amazing. I mean, the cover is like fucking incredible.
I'm like, just play it.
All right, so I'll shut the fuck up. This is the first song called Musa.
Where do we go from here? Well, the whole world is falling through darkness, and we cannot see the light. We're falling through darkness, and we cannot see. Abeta khayedna, aboy Musa nekerna. Abeta khayedna, memher Musa nekerna.
So we could just spend the rest of the episode just leaning back and
Should we just lean back and
like take a
listen?
snooze?
God damn, that's good.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's the first record I'm buying. It's also the first person who's had a record for me to buy. This fucking podcast is costing me money in vinyl.
Yeah.
I can see why it's on a top list.
Yeah.
I like that. That's like, but once again, it kind of goes back. To me, it sounds like a lot of that mid to late 90s sort of trip hop.
Dude, honestly, there was a couple things that are like made me think of Lauryn Hill and her melodies a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just fucking listening to Miseducation album the other day, and maybe that's why it's like fresh in my head. But I mean, but there's something to be said about that. Again, in the 90s of just like fucking sweet ass fucking grooves, mixed with a sampled kind of just like steady, you know, like
completely
awesome drum beat,
Diggable Planets.
Wow. Well, it reminded me a lot of more Chiba.
Yeah, more Chiba. Yeah, this is the second week in a row I've wanted to go whip out a Diggable Planets record and listen to it. So hey,
about that dig.
Yep. Here's the
Sorry.
thing that comes up every once in a while. Funded by the Ontario Arts
She's Canadian.
Council. Thank you, countries who fund their fucking artists.
Yes, thank you, Canada.
Seriously. God, I feel like we could go off on a tangent that would probably be pretty ugly at this point.
Yeah.
Which is probably best avoided for the mental health of the listeners. But I mean, anytime I hear about, we were supposed to tour with a band from Germany called Plane Ride this spring, and their whole tour was funded. They got an arts grant from the German government, and it covered the cost of their whole fucking tour.
Oh my god! Can you imagine? Can you
Seriously.
fucking imagine getting the fucking support? Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of feels like the art itself isn't really valued in this country. Only the money that we can
Only the money that you can get from it.
that we can
Yeah.
squeeze out of it.
And it's such fucking bullshit too, because it's like that was another thing. Like during this pandemic, like you know, I saw a couple very clever things that were just like, all right, if you're stuck at home, like imagine if you couldn't listen to music, watch movies or TV shows, and imagine if you couldn't watch pornography. Like those are three industries, like strong industries where people are working, and it's just like they're artist types, you know what I mean? Like, you know, sex workers, fucking, you know, musicians, actors, everything like that. Like it's just this kind of other path to take other than just, you know, being an accountant or something like that. But like, fuck, when you're stuck in your home all day, like,
Sure
I need
comes
my
in
porn,
handy.
I need my albums, I need my fucking Netflix, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like it's maybe not just you know, extra that humans don't need, like that we actually maybe need it, and not it's not just extra. And in a wealthy, developed society, maybe we could afford to you know, actually fund it the way we fund
You're
it.
saying that the arts should be considered an essential service?
It's an interesting
And
concept.
if not, then maybe Americans would bring a little bit more soul and rhythm into their life. Maybe they would think more about the plot and storyline of their own life, and maybe they would you know, learn how to fuck better and, like, you know, take care of their partners sexually, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in being straight, that's one of the things that I really love about Bandcamp is that it is. Oh no, we gotta freeze up.
We got a freezer.
We'll give John a minute. We can keep talking. Is that it? You know,
If they don't have porn music or movies, can you hear me?
There you go.
goddamn
He's
it.
back.
Can you
Now
hear
he
me
goes
now?
up. Yes. No worries.
All right.
It happens. I was gonna say that's one of the really great things about Bandcamp is it really has. And the day they sell it to somebody else, I'm gonna fucking kill them. They really just went artist first all the way, and have really stuck to it.
I have really a tremendous amount of respect for Bandcamp. I think it's really, especially during like this whole fucking pandemic, what they've been doing on Fridays.
All those
and, like,
Fridays.
yeah.
Yeah, I only wanted to push it, you know, one of the Fridays, so I haven't been like trying to get people every time they do one, because there's all of these bands need Bandcamp Friday to work for them. But shit, the one Bandcamp Friday, I opened my mouth about it. We paid a month and a half's worth of studio rent off of the shit we sold that day.
It's awesome, man.
It's like, and guys like Trevor are 100% making their living. He's making enough money off of Bandcamp that he owns a house, lives in it. He's in Fresno. No offense. he hates Fresno too.
But it's affordable.
But it's
Yeah,
A
man,
musician can
that's
buy
the
a house.
that's the fucking dream, man. And I will say, it's a good point to mention. Remember when I was talking before about when we bought Fit for an Autopsy's van, we broke down in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I feel like I have cotton in my ears. I can't. Can you hear me okay?
Totally.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
That night when we broke down, we were going to play in, I think it was Albany. I'm pretty sure it was with our good buddies Laser Wolf from Atlanta, but
they're rad.
Yeah.
that's a side note, but amazing. But we were so fucking defeated because we had spent, I guess because we were recording or something, that was the first time we spent a year at home without touring. And we were chomping at the fucking bit to play. That was night one, and that happened. And we were ready to go home and just like figure out the van and worry about the next day of the tour. But I called up a buddy who worked at like a local haunt called Mr. Beery's on Long Island in Bethpage. And that's like a real heart of like the hometown scene. And they were having an open mic night. And I was just like, dude, we're fucked with our van. Like, is there any chance we can come and play an open mic? And like within like, you know, a half hour's worth of phone calls and shit, like we said, someone was like, yeah, we got this open mic thing going. But like, once the set's done, you guys can play. And we put word out, and we fucking packed the place wall to wall from a show that was never going to happen. Tagged onto an open mic night at our like hometown haunt, and we made up all the money that I think we ended up spending $500 just like getting the tow and everything like that with the van, and we made it all back because like the community just came up and you know, we're talking about the Camp Friday thing, and like it's cool to see when people step up and kind of take care of like artists or creative types or anybody who's just like fucking, you know, taking their own you know, career or livelihood with a little bit of, you know, devil may care attitude.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's like, it's proof, Bandcamp, and as long as Bandcamp is a privately owned company and the owners have this mind frame, they're clearly making enough money to survive. Is that they designed a business model from the ground up that's not based on slavery, right? I mean, and from actual slavery, which is how we started this country, to the wage slavery and, you know, all the different, you know, forms of kind of new slavery that exist. There is a way to run any kind of business, whether it's, you know, streaming music and selling records, that doesn't exploit the people who produce the thing that you're selling and distributing. They proved it.
Fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting, right? Yeah. It's like one of the main things that I've been trying to do in changing our shopping habits over the last few years is to support companies that are privately or employee owned, that are cooperative. Because that's the model, and essentially that's what Bandcamp is. You own 90% of what you put up on there, and they collect a reasonable fee for providing a platform. As I grudgingly am about to stream from Spotify, but that was the only place I could find this record. All right, so when I was re-listening to Crux last night, honestly, when I was re-listening to both records, the you know, the musical style blender that was the defining sound of 1986 or 87 to the late 90s in the Bay Area, that gave us, you know, bands like Mr. Bungle, spawned a band called the Blue Chunks. And the Blue Chunks, so this is a segment where I'm going to make you love something that I love.
Oh, is this a new segment?
Yeah. All right. And that you don't know exists.
Oh, okay.
That's what I say to my wife every night. Don't say that. I don't have a wife. I don't even have a fucking...
Here's the part where...
Yeah, no. So this was, you know, I was living in Berkeley. These guys were like underground legends, had been in a bunch of bands. They put this band together, really innovative, like fusion of jazz and funk and metal and fucking show tunes and everything else under the sun, with two like highly trained jazz guitar players who in, you know, 1990 were doing these like two-hand tap double, not lead parts, like melody parts, interweaving two-hand tapping. When I was watching some of the guitar playthrough videos, I was like, that sounds like Blue Chunks. Like all the weird pull-offs and kind of the slidey stuff that he's doing in some of those songs totally made me think of Blue Chunks. So I was like, nah, I'm going to make them listen to Blue Chunks.
We're going to do a new part of the show.
Yeah. So fuck it. All right. So they, like I said, they put out one album, and then the singer bugged off with his girlfriend to Texas, and the other guys have been in and out of a bunch of, you know, Bay Area bands of varying degrees of popularity, but they're, you know, music legends still. And I got to pull your dumb screen over again so I can share. I'm two screening it. So we got this new setup where we can put your face right behind the camera so that we're actually attempting to look at you, which is like kind of hard. It's hard to pull off, but it really looks much better if we do it. And in the meantime, I'm like terrible at working all of this shit. And we don't have a producer because no one's paying me to do this. So DIY. All right. So I'm going to share. I'm sorry, everyone. I am sharing my Spotify. Deal with it. All right, so this is they had one record out of the mouths of babes. This band probably spawned 1,000 bands in the Bay Area, playing in basements in Berkeley, playing at the co-ops in Berkeley, in San Francisco, and Oakland. I bet if you rounded up 5,000 musicians in their early, between 40 and 50 years old, they go, yeah, they were my favorite band while they existed.
Those old guys.
Yeah, us old guys. So this is the first song on the record. It's called Lollies of Brandy. It starts with like 30 seconds of a car starting, so we don't really need to listen to that. But we can get right into it. This is just the kind of batshit crazy stuff that made me. Yeah, so
was this the circle? Were you doing a circle
that
pit?
was the circle.
Is that what that
was? That
was?
was the circle.
Circle pit to a
Circle
slap bass
pit.
solo.
Yeah, that's a circle pit right there.
That was a circle pit moment. Fucking, I don't even think,
Circle pit or die.
I don't think there was even any distortion.
No.
And no, man, they were so rad. And then this song, Plisa, has, I think, maybe the greatest bass line in a rock and roll song for me. Although there's a Mr. Bungle song called Dead Goon that's real similar, and I think those guys are kind of going back and forth.
I can see that.
Always saying confess of shame, the dame lives of the play, no ordinary game of the game name. She was Lisa, Lisa. Chain link fence, this executioner's in, can't stare on my face, I need to run for shelter. Eloquence, a hidden highlight, my defense is cast aside. She found me most inviting dominance. Her movement sang out as she danced upon my mind and employed my body. Your eyes, your wings, not inviting. I won't kiss and not through your ring. Your eyes, your wings, not inviting. I won't kiss and not.
How many bass players in this band?
One.
Oh man,
That's one bass.
wow.
Playing one bass
He's playing a
line.
lot of parts.
Oh, dude, there's a solo in the middle that I won't.
Is there?
I won't force you to listen to it.
I can see why you like this. I can totally. This, I mean,
Right.
this is Bay Area weirdness. This
Yep.
is like Primus and Bungle and like it's all in
Yeah.
that same.
That's all of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a song that has the tapping that that reminded me of you guys, called White Linen, and I think it's about a shootout. He dies with a hard dick, and they put a white sheet over. All the songs were ridiculous. There's a
rigor
song,
mortis. you
there's
know.
a song called Buzzo that's about Buzo, that's about Buzzo the clown's lame son who was a terrible clown.
What were you guys on?
Everything, all of it. All right, White Linen. Listen to that shit. 2.
I was just a young boy, I'd been raised up on a farm. I'd never been out in the Wild West, never meant nobody harm. Jesse James, but that was just for fun. I ran around so happily, shooting people with my gun. Until one day there came a time when they took my toys away. They said I'm much too over this and ordered me to play in the big world. So I went out and did the play, but nothing satisfied. Frustration turned to anger and depression till I cried. My in-laws were my outlaws, my sister was my wife, my uncle was my brother. I just had to lead that life. Well, I tried it with the women, and I tried it with the men. I tried it with the livestock, and with my next of kin.
I bet their live shows were fun.
Oh, dude.
I can see that. I mean, if you saw these guys
Tried
70
it.
times, I can
Tried
imagine it was because of the live shows.
I was like on board with everything like that. Like tried it with woman, tried it with man,
The livestock.
tried it with the livestock. Still on board.
Yeah.
Tried it with my next of kin.
Yeah.
That's where
That's
where
where
it
it
is.
That's
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
it just
Yeah.
rhymed. It just
Yeah.
they needed a word that rhymed.
but I mean, if you like shut that out and shut maybe the groove out and listen to those intertwining tapped guitar.
No, those were cool. That was
guitar
cool.
parts.
No, I heard what you're talking about. That was
there's-
pretty fucking nuts, man.
There's music. There's bands like Covet or like this kind of
Yeah.
like dreamy prog stuff that are doing that now. But it's like fucking there.
Yeah.
There it was, and it was just because they were crazy jazz guys that like
Yeah.
went into this new context. So it was fun. So
Completely.
anyways, that's that you can do one next.
Ooh, can I do one next?
You do one
well,
next time.
Next episode.
Next episode.
I'll do it.
All right. So hey, you guys have released what in the last couple months? You released the streaming like a live stream show.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
The Violent Grief live
Yeah.
stream.
How
How did Violent Grief come about, anyways? Like, when did you guys decide, hey, we should do an acoustic album?
The brief idea is like it was always kind of an idea, something we always wanted to do, and like I pushed strong for, because it's funny that we were talking about like playing in less than stellar situations in
Yeah.
terms of like the audio rig or whatever. I was always the one to suffer because like fucking my guys have just amps that like just punch your fucking stepfather in the dick 3 miles away when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Like
And they're like, can't hear you.
I was just like, I can't hear me. I know I can't. So it was I always loved the idea of like, one, I think an acoustic album would be a great way to fucking kind of just show off like what I can do vocally, but also the fact that also what I said before is that we have all the four of us have all these different influences, and I really believe that we could make our songs, we could write them as kind of softer acoustic songs and make them still be interesting. And I always thought it would be a really interesting creative challenge. So it's in the works it was a thought for a long time, but it was only in the past. We were already planning on doing before the pandemic almost like a MTV Unplugged kind of like we were going to actually invite people to it and have like a live sessions thing and like record and film that and have that be the thing. And then the pandemic hit. So then we're like, all right, let's just record it as an album. And our label Pure Noise Records was like, cool. It wasn't part of our initial deal or anything like that, but like let's press some vinyl, like let's do it. Like we're like, yeah, fucking great, yeah, cool. And so we did that, and then we filmed the sessions, which was we played live the whole EP, which was songs from our album Crux, reimagined acoustically. Some of them sticking very close to the song, some of them kind of reworking them a lot.
Yeah.
In the live sessions, the EP has one new song that we wrote, and then the live sessions was the EP plus that new song plus a couple covers and I think another song, Musketeers. We didn't put that on the EP, but we put that for the live sessions. But the live sessions was filmed by Tom Flynn and his crew, who's Tom Flynn we've been working with for this whole Crux album cycle. He's done all of our music videos from Trust onwards for the Crux album cycle. And Tom Flynn also is does a lot of work with Covet.
Oh, really? I love. They have great videos.
Yeah. That's Tom Flynn. He's fucking great. There's a reason we keep going back to him. You know.
So that video, did he do that video game one where they're like up on top of the bus shooting lasers at each other and stuff?
He did do that. Yeah,
that's rad. Yeah, Yvette is from San Jose. She's local.
Yeah, I know, like Southern California. Yeah. Okay. No, I was gonna go into another story, but it's not.
Did he also do the all at all angles? Because that one fucking cracks me up with the motorcycles at the end.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That was actually the first one that we shot. We shot all at all angles, then we shot Trust, but we released Trust first and then all at all angles. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a really fun one to shoot.
I would imagine it looked like it was fun.
Yeah.
Remember in all at all angles, the guy that Vin, when he was at the bank job and he fucking stuffed his face into the desk and shoved pennies into his mouth? That guy who had the Stax hat, and that was Paul Mortisi, who did the album artwork for Crux.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was willing to have pennies shoved into his mouth, and he actually made that hat up at one of those mall kiosk things for the video shoot because he thought it would be funny. I need a douchebag hat, you know.
You did wash those pennies, right, or like disinfect them somehow? It bothers me to think maybe.
I think literally they put them in a cup full of mouthwash beforehand, and then
it's better than nothing.
Still gross as fuck. And like,
now imagine post pandemic. Imagine doing that now.
No.
Yeah, right.
Swallow a mouthful of change. No thanks. So hey, I want to throw maybe one of the videos. So on the audio podcast, it'll have the music, and then on the YouTube version, it'll have the actual video. So if you're gonna pick one song from those sessions, what would be a good one to throw on the end?
Live Violent Grief sessions. You know, I'm tempted to throw one of the covers on, but I suppose I should throw
one of your own songs. Well, we already played your music on here on the first episode. So.
We something we did that I was very proud of was we covered Fiona Apple, and she's one of my heroes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Done.
She had one of the best albums of the last year.
Yeah. Fucking Fetch the Bolt Cutters was fucking great.
Yeah. She's been on it.
What's up?
She's been on it. I can do two also. If you want to do the cover and one more, that's fine.
I guess do you remember if you played the song Trust?
I think we played some of the not the acoustic version though. We played the original. We played some of the original version. So I think that's a good one. I
played the acoustic one of Trust because Trust we changed it up a little bit. So.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did. Because we listened to the albums back to back for hours on end. we know this.
Well, and the funny thing too is like I sit down after my family goes to bed at night and I edit videos. I pull out all of our little shorts from these, and that's been on the background. I just go to the YouTube and I put that on and I let it run in the background and then enjoy it, you know.
And then edit videos. Yeah, it has been fun. We've discovered a bunch of new stuff doing this, and like that Bandcamp find today, and like that crazy label in Serbia. I definitely will respond to that guy, and like I want to know more. What's with all the Japanese stuff?
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
I have so much respect for people who fucking start labels that aren't like a fucking giant entity. Like I think that's one of the coolest things. I think it's almost kind of cooler than being in a band is like starting a fucking record label, and like I don't know. There's something about it.
Completely.
Yeah,
it's like I want to put out every band that I like. I like them. I'm putting them out. You know,
so I'm involved in one. I didn't start it, but it's me and two buddies. One whose name is actually Buddy. Hey buddy, when you listen to this, called Glory or Death Records, and the whole idea of it is, we do these tribute records. We get a bunch of different bands to do a song, kind of like the Magnetic Eye tributes, but we let bands pick from the entire catalog of the band that we're covering, and then in between the tribute records, we do individual releases of just bands we love. And Buddy does most of that, and it is so cool to like go, I fucking love this, and now you're gonna hear it. It's a really cool feeling for sure.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it feel great to fucking just share music that you love? Like, it's
oh yeah,
that's what we're doing.
Well, sort of.
This is hold on a second.
music we might love.
We might love. Hey, I've definitely found some music we loved.
But yeah, we've definitely found music we love. But I know that's exactly, I mean, it goes back to like in the old days, you would make a mixtape and you would give it to your friends. Here's all my fucking favorite songs. Go listen to these.
I was going to say one of my favorite games to play like with friends is it's called Song for Song. And it's exactly what it fucking sounds like, is that however many 5 or 10 or however many people you have, everybody, like, you take a turn and you go song for song. And like the only rules are like, you cannot skip somebody else's song. The rest of that is just like there's no judgment. You just kind of like put on whatever you want to put on. You can explain why you love it. And like, if you want to pick a song after somebody, you could be like, hear what somebody else did and be like, all right, that song reminded me of this song.
I'm going next.
I'm going to put this on. Or you could be like, all right, this has absolutely nothing to do, but like you take a quick second to explain why you like this. And like, I found so much good music from playing that game. And like, everybody loves sharing the music that they love. Like,
completely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing versions of this show where instead of listening to, Blynd Submyshynz, we'll have like a side episode where everybody comes with 2 songs. And just here, you're going to listen to my song, I'm going to listen to your song or whatever. There's a podcast called Who Charted, and they just talk about the music and TV charts, whatever chart they want to focus on that week. And then the third segment they always do is each one of them picks 2 songs that they just want their friends to hear. And then they always have a guest. It's all comedians, so it's all like stand-up comedians. They listen to weird music mostly, but no, it's good. And
listen to Serbian music.
The label's fun, man. We did a Thin Lizzy tribute. We're in the middle of producing a Deep Purple tribute. Double LPs, like 15 to 20 bands, and everybody from like the biggest one on the Thin Lizzy was High on Fire. And then, to deep underground bands still. And then we got Yob to do a Deep Purple song. So that's going to be super fun. I can't wait to hear it. We'll wait for Mike to get into the studio and record it.
Who's Yob?
Who's Yob? Never heard of him.
I love Yob.
All right, JD has one last question for you.
I do?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh yeah, shit. It is the final question, and this is how we close all the shows. So we would like to know all-time favorite hometown band.
And this one's definitely, you have a hometown. A lot of times people are like, well, I was born here.
I was born here, but I live here now, and I lived here for 8 years. No. Yeah. All-time favorite hometown band.
Long Island.
They don't have to be active. It's us.
Takes a sip of wine.
My band.
Yeah, there you go.
Ow.
Hometown band. I did think about this. Like, I gotta say, I talked earlier about like how Long Island has like just put out such amazing music before, but and the band that Nick and Ray were in, Exemption, before like Moontooth was a band, was like my fucking favorite. Like, I loved going to see them play, and like it was just amazing and and whatnot. But I gotta say my favorite is a band that I used to play in. It's the reason I met Nick and Ray. I used to play in this band called Rice Cultivation Society. And
nice.
Yeah,
I like that name.
And it was the brainchild of a gentleman called Derek Smith, who's a good friend of mine. And I started playing drums with him, and it's like kind of indie mathy kind of stuff. Like he is.
Sounds like it.
It's my favorite hometown band because it was the first band that I ever like properly like gigged with on a regular basis. It's the first band that I ever went on tour with. So there's all these attachments I have to it. It's also the band that like I met fucking Nick Lee.
And he froze. Will he come back? Dun dun dun. Luckily, Rice Cultivation Society, everyone, is available on Bandcamp, and they have an album called Mystical Shitheads. I'm going to share this, actually, in case he rejoins us.
Mystical shitheads.
Mystical shitheads. That's fucking great. All right, so yes, John is in the middle of, his face is frozen on our screen. He's got like a hand up, and he looks like he just got punched real hard, and he's thinking about maybe falling down. But while he does that, we'll check out the Rice Cultivation Society. All right, so they put us on the album Mystical Shithead, so let's just hear how it starts. This is Current Events.
Can you pause it for 1 second?
Paused.
Just gotta say, this album is fucking dope. But just so everybody knows that this is not me playing drums.
Okay.
Hold on. I left the band. No, don't click anything else. I left the band before this album. But playing drums here is John Carbone, who is such a fucking amazing drummer. He's so goddamn good, and this song is really fucking good. And the little bit of a backstory. So the gentleman that you see there is a human there in that album.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That looks like a costume.
Built that costume and is wearing it, which weighed like a ridiculous amount of weight, is a gentleman by the name of Joe Zajac, who that was the house that me and Nick lived in. And
the house party house.
We used to have the house parties and the art shows and everything. And like Joe built all that, and he,
Is that a snowboard on his waist there?
I think it is.
So that gives you a sense of scale and weight. That's a crazy looking costume.
But yeah, I played drums on Sky Burial and Leaves Again. But Nick Lee is playing guitar on this album, Mystical Shitheads.
It's a lot of albums.
Playing this song because this song is fucking sick.
Yeah, maybe I'll drop one of these on too.
You can stop it if you want.
This is great.
Yeah, no, this is great.
What year did this come out?
That one
2015.
2015.
Yeah, no, JD
like I said, I was on. I played on Sky Burial and Leaves Again. Although Derek played some of the drums on Leaves Again. Oh, Paul Motisi did that artwork too. He took the.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
No, this is a killer find. JD and I both listen to a lot of shit like this. So, and this is on the edge. Like, I like it when it gets more aggressive like that. I think if it stays in that like ethereal, happy place the whole time, I get bored. But
dude, honestly, you should, if you want to enjoy it, personally look up YouTube videos of Rice Cultivation Society. Cause like, as I said, Johnny Hobland is a fucking amazing drummer and a really fucking cool dude and a good friend. And, But like when that was the when he was in the band, and also like when I was in the band, it was a lot of like, there was a lot of jamming going on, but like the live shows were really intense and just fucking got gritty. Like
I bet.
I loved playing drums in that band just because we would jam and just beat the fucking shit out of the kit. And just Derek is an absolute genius, and he's gone on to make all sorts of crazy experimental music, and everything he comes out with is just fucking phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So what? Remind me again the name of Nick's first band.
Exemption.
Exemption. Are they on Bandcamp too?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, if you got time, you should fucking put that on right now.
Yeah. Well, and especially because what I think is interesting about it is as a vehicle to sort of explain, because listening to that, I get parts of Moontooth better than I did before. Right. If I just think of what I understood Exemption to be, and then mix it with this and some of the other stuff, it all starts.
It's interesting. I'm hearing there's like this. I get this feeling that the Long Island sort of scene is a nice amalgamation. It's like you're taking all these different pieces of different things. Like it's not New York hardcore. It's not like
absolutely no. It's different, dude. It's because the thing is, when people think of New York, they're talking about Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Yeah.
And the boroughs and the Bronx and Queens and whatnot, but like Long Island is a whole different beast, you know, like it really is.
There was a band, there was a hardcore. Well, they weren't. I hate to call them hardcore, but they were kind of in the hardcore scene, and it just hit me that they were from Long Island. There was this band called Mind Over Matter. Fucking insane.
I should know that. I think I know that. I don't know.
Shit, look them up, and because they are so good.
When is it?
But it was.
When
it
are
was
they
like,
from?
They're I don't know what part of Long Island.
No.
Oh, when?
What time?
Oh, it was like probably mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were just, like I said, it was one of those bands that they were sort of hardcore, but also sort of like indie and math rock and noisy, and it was just this amalgamation of so many different genres.
Yeah. Well, you know, we love when somebody gets that right.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck when it goes wrong, man. But when it
when it goes right, I found my new favorite band.
Yeah. All right. So what off of the?
You know, like I was thinking about this, and like this whole like, you know, sometimes people say like the whole album's great, but like
the whole
don't even fucking understand. Like this whole album is a perfect album, and also I will say that the album art was made by Tom Moran, who was the bass player and singer for Exemption. And Tom Moran is still doing his thing. Like he left the band, and he's absolutely fucking brilliant singer songwriter. Something I've said to Tom many times is that this is coming from somebody who really appreciates like kind of singer songwriters. And again, I like a lot of indie rock. Don Pedro, that's a venue in Brooklyn that no longer exists. But I think it takes a lot to stand out as a singer-songwriter, like, you know, one person with an acoustic guitar. I think it takes a special magic and a special soul to like create songs or something that stands out, because anybody can fucking pick up an acoustic guitar and write like, you know, folk songs or neo-folk songs or whatever. But Tom Moran has that special magic, and something about what he does is absolutely beautiful. And so he's worth looking up as well. And it's just name, Tommoran.
And I gotta say, I totally appreciate the constant shout outs of the artists and their names and the people making the videos and stuff. I think it's easy to forget sometimes as a musician to keep dropping the names, because we all tend to like use the same people a lot because we have a relationship with them, or because the style works or whatever. And it's the visual aspect is so integral to the whole thing, and I always try to remember to credit little things. So this will tell you what kind of guy Ryan from Pound is. When he sets up their he's really into the art too, and they have a really distinct visual style. When he sets up their merch stand, every single item of merch that has original art on it has a little sticker tag with the Instagram handle of the artist. Just
that's fucking awesome,
right? Like Not hard to do. No one fucking does
No one
it.
thinks to do it.
Yeah.
And but from the time that he did that forward, I was like, I need to do that too. I mean, that's what we got to be doing.
You know, I had like a very brief interaction with, I don't know which one of them it was, but after the chairgate,
Shiny bald head or giant beard.
Yeah.
It was through I think it was through like Instagram or MySpace,
okay.
Messenger or whatever. So
That's
I
probably
don't know
Ryan.
who I was
Probably
talking to,
Ryan.
but it was a very pleasant like interaction. And it just like it made me want to fucking tour with them so bad, and I checked
Yeah.
their music out, and it made me want to fucking tour with them even more. And
Yeah.
it just seemed like really awesome dudes.
The first time I checked their music out, it made me want to see them live because I didn't know how they were going to do it. I didn't believe that it was possible.
That it was possible to do it live.
And they're nail biter moments when you're watching them because they're together and they diverge. And if you don't have the ear to tell they're doing some crazy polyrhythm shit or whatever, it's impossible to believe that they're going to come back together at the right point. And they fucking always do. And every time they do it, it's like someone did a magic trick in front of me. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. All right,
awesome,
so let's listen. They want us to start.
I think first track.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
The whole album is fucking great, but just first
All
track
right.
as you would hear it for the first time. Stop it. Stop right now. Stop right now.
Holy
And then
shit.
go to Godzilla.
Okay.
No, sorry, wrong track. Pull up the thing. I mixed up the song names. Can I see the
Oh yeah, let me share it again. I stopped. I panicked when you yelled.
I
at me.
mixed up sorry,
Stop
I know.
screen share.
Y'all gave me an inch, I'm taking a mile. I
No.
apologize.
Hey,
We'll
it's all good.
we'll
We're
ta-
discovering
hey,
new stuff. This is great.
I'm liking going on a ride.
So into it.
Dude,
So this is your guitarist and drummer?
I'm drummer.
Okay.
Can I click this stuff? I'm looking.
No.
Try Mutating Skulls. Wow, I can't fucking remember. No. Second song, Blood Heaven.
That was
Blood
cool,
Heaven. Okay. But I want to listen to that one.
Yeah.
They're all good. They're all fucking. This is the one, yeah.
push that pause.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
All right, I'm gonna have to listen to that whole
That's
thing.
so
Yeah,
fucking
no,
good.
that's. I just wanted you to get to the fucking where it
Yeah.
breaks and changes from the funky.
Yeah, that
ass
change
shit.
up. That was a Moontooth change up right there.
So,
Yeah.
question one: are you sure those guys weren't with me in a basement in Berkeley listening to the Blue Chunks? They would have enjoyed it. I can guarantee you that. Fuck,
Well,
man.
Cemetery Party, fucking that whole album is so
Yeah.
good.
It sounds like it.
Have they ever gotten a proper physical release? Like
Oh
they
yeah,
probably
I
did
mean,
see.
that one. That was the last thing they'd done. They were a band for 8 years. The album before that. I'm gonna fucking mix these up. They put out 2 albums before that. Harmony of Spheres, I think, was an EP. And I'm mixing it up, but
That's a. Yeah, I see.
I think it's all on Bandcamp, and you can find all the. I think maybe even.
Yeah, there's the rabbit hole.
Yeah, Down the Rabbit Hole. Yeah. So the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah, like that's a that's a record I'd love to have on vinyl right there.
Me too, man.
Just for the cover art. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing.
No, this is good.
Yeah, I mean I know based on what you've said so far, I'm assuming it's an impossibility, but right now the idea of a Moontooth and of a double bill sounds pretty damn good to me.
I mean, there's going to be a time where there's a fucking exemption show.
Yeah,
Like it has to be. You know, like, and for a while. I mean, we've been a band now for Moontooth's been a band for coming on 8 years now. So, and Exemption was a band for 8 years. So you know, it would have been stupid to like fucking do an Exemption reunion like 3 years into Moontooth being a band. Like understandably.
yeah, no, for sure.
But it's got to happen, and I honestly can't wait till it happens because like shit's so fucking good, man.
Yeah, his guitar playing is that a single guitar band or are there 2 guitar players?
That's just Nick Ray.
just
The
the three
only
of them.
thing so Moontooth is Nick on guitar, Nick Lee on guitar, Ray Marte on drums, me, John Carbone on vocals, and Vincent Romanelli on bass. Exemption is Nick Lee on guitar, Ray Marte on drums, and Tom Moran playing bass and singing.
Fuck.
They were just a proper 3-piece.
Just
crazy.
a 3-piece. I mean, his playing is so creative, like fucking inspiring, man.
Yeah.
It's just it's out there in such a cool way.
Yeah. You got to keep this on the podcast. Hold on one second. Hey, yeah, you're being filmed. This conversation is being filmed right now.
This conversation is being filmed.
Maybe you're gonna hit the sack. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Okay, I love you. Bye. That's my sister.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was helping me out with some fucking computer shit before, so she gave me a call.
Make sure everything's good.
I gotta fucking pull her onto the thing and I've done it. She's come. Her and my brother-in-law AJ have come to shows, and I have to draw attention to them and bring them into the spotlight. I just can't help myself.
Of course. Is this older sister or younger sister?
Older sister.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, shit. I feel like we could probably
This is a good one.
keep going for
Oh, we
months.
easily could.
Now I need to take a bathroom break too. But man, I cannot wait because I know you guys are going to be on the road as soon as anybody can be on the road. I cannot wait till you guys are out here in the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we'll find a way to host you and do something fucking killer because
Yeah, man. Even if we just hang out at a show and just fucking get some beers or something, or you know,
Completely.
yeah, absolutely. We are very much missing going to putting on and playing shows. You know. So
part of the reason we're doing this.
yeah, so we can do this one night a week, 1 or 2 nights a week, whereas we would normally be out somewhere at a venue once the kids go to sleep.
Yeah, this was an absolute blast, man. I had a great time. Like,
Good.
this was a lot of fun, man. I really appreciate you guys reaching out and yeah, let us know anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm sure we'll talk to you again. If only if we're still going in this bullshit to do a part 2, and then part 2 you can think about some other shit you want to throw our way, because I
know that I'm gonna have a bunch of bullshit. Like I have bullshit still up here. There's bullshit poking at my back right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
thank you for making what was probably our album of the year, even though it was released last year.
Yeah.
We didn't discover it until June.
Yeah. I hate
That's
all
what
that.
happens sometimes. I was listening to fucking Best of 2020 today, and from Rolling Stone, and I was just like, oh, cool. So I'll find out albums and listen to them for 2021, and even though they were a year later, but
exactly.
What do you even think about? Because we're at the end of the year, end of year rankings. What do you even think about that? They almost piss me off, and I kind of wish that all publications would stop doing those lists.
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things where it goes a lot of different ways. Where like I can appreciate like a publication that I admire. I'm going to pay attention to their year-end list, and sometimes I get some good shit from that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it feels like they're just catering to whatever kind of like
the PR
or whatever's trendy for them to do, and you can kind of sniff that out and whatnot. And really, like, the competition aspect of it is so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
man.
get
like,
rid of that. Just give me here's 50 albums we love.
50
period. Don't rank
albums unranked that you should listen to, like 50 great albums that came out this year, totally unranked. And, the last one on the list should be, like, not arguably the best album. So, like, when people go to, like, listen to the thing, like, oh, this is probably number one because the last one on the list is like, no, this is like number 49.
How did this get number one?
I'll solve that for you. We just do alphabetical order, baby.
Yeah, alphabetical order.
There you go. Alphabetical order. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
but
that's what
I would love a good list of like the best shit of the like. Well, even that, I'm saying it now, like not the best shit, but like really powerful, interesting, unique things that happen.
Yeah, so I'll close off by saying, if you want to skirt around, mainstream music press, and anything else that you might be skewed, just go to Bandcamp, and they did genre by genre. So dig into R&B one day, dig into indie one day, and just they don't rank them; they're just listed.
Yep.
No, it's super refreshing. Another thing they got right.
Does this mean we're not doing a top 10 list?
No.
Can I say one thing before we head out that I just found? I got to make sure. I'm pretty sure I have the name right, but I just wanted to check. Today, are you guys familiar with I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but La Blogotech? It's a French blog.
No.
That does really fucking cool. Like they've been doing it for like over 10 years. Like just like live sessions of like a band with a stripped down setting and in a public environment in like ruins of an old building or something.
That's so cool.
It's such an artful way of doing it. Yeah, they really got cool shit. But been following them for the past decade, and today I found a really cool artist, Gabby Hartman. So that's Gabi, Gabby Hartman, Hartmann, and I don't really know anything about this person. It's a French woman, and there's not a whole lot of material out there, really. It just seems like there's just like a song or two. But I saw that video today, and it just like if the body has nuts, and so I can only assume the soul has nuts too. But it definitely punched me in my soul's nuts.
Your soul's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Really hit me hard.
She's on Bandcamp. There's one track.
There's one song. Yeah, that's the only thing I could find.
It's on my wish list.
Good.
And since I've made it a minor goal to use this platform to make sure everybody on Earth is listening to one band in particular, I have to know if you have dug into the masterful Zeal and Ardor. Are you familiar with them? Do you know anything about them?
Oh, that's really weird that you say that.
Especially because of your love of the blues.
No, that's like, you don't know how weird that is that you say that, because fucking last night, my one of my good friends sent me a song from them, and he said, he's like, I feel like the clean vocals sound like you, and I put it on. I don't remember what the song was. I could look it up, but and I remember like listening to the song and thinking, all right, well, these are clearly not my vocals, but hold on. Tuskegee, I think, was the song.
So that's off the new EP that he just recorded and released during the pandemic. So the album cover for that EP, did you see it?
Yeah, it's like an upside down cross kind of
made out of two police batons. Yeah.
I didn't look close. This is all through like text message, so I haven't. Oh, now I see it. Yeah. Fucking.
So the quick background, and go backwards and listen from the beginning, is he was in kind of a mathy bird song, or a band that had some acclaim. He's a Swiss and African American. He was on Reddit having people throw genres together and to do like song challenges, and someone said black metal and slave music, basically. They
didn't use those words.
Except they didn't say it in a nice way.
They were trolling him.
And he went, all right, fucking challenge accepted. And he created this mythology of what if the freed American slaves, or not even before they were freed, had decided to worship Satan instead of the Christian God and Jesus. And what would that music have been? And it's a mix of atmospheric, proggy black metal and field calls and slave chants.
I gotta say, like, when I was like, all right, so even more details as to yesterday. So like I got this text yesterday, and I had to go to Westfall to record. Okay, hold on. You were talking about, you had somebody from Heavy Temple?
Yeah, Nighthawk.
So
she's the singer.
There's a band. You ever hear Barishi?
Yeah.
So Barishi, I sang a couple of covers for Barishi just the other day. They're doing this digital festival. I think Heavy Temple was one of the headliners of that thing. It's a digital festival.
Yeah. I think she mentioned they recorded. I feel like she did, although my memory is so bad. I'm so old.
I don't want to waste the time looking up the fucking flyer that the guys from Barishi sent me, but the dudes from Barishi are awesome. And also this guy Joe, he plays in Lich King, if you've ever heard of them too. But they ran into a bind, and they were doing these covers, and then just asked me if I wanted to sing a couple covers for that thing. So I went to Ray last night at Westfall to record the covers, and my buddy Dave texted me about this song. It's just like, I feel like this vocals kind of sound like you, and I bring all that other stuff in because, like, you mentioned Heavy Temple before, and like, it's kind of funny. The reason I was at the studio at the time was because of that. But I thought it was very interesting how it. I don't know, the change in the song. I don't know.
It's crazy.
I think it was a really good mix. Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah, listen, the second album, Stranger Fruit. So he recorded an EP that came out, and he went from nothing, the band didn't exist, to playing the chapel at fucking Hellfest. No, what's the one in the Netherlands? Playing like the ancient church venue was his first fucking live show as an artist. No one had never even played live before, and he plays like one of the biggest metal festivals in the world. But that second album is like perfectly realized version of what he was trying to get at, and it veers into territory where you could play. There's one or two songs you could put on pop radio after Imagine Dragons, and it wouldn't sound out of place, but you'd go, oh, but that's that's the good version. That's like the
That's
actual
how you do it.
That's how you actually do that sort of mood and sound, all the way into that, like, back and forth between the field calls and the like really deep metal. He has 2 microphones on stage. He has one set up for like the the heavy vocals,
The screaming.
He's
got his clean mic and his dirty mic.
Clean mic and his dirty mic, and he has 2-person choir that tours with him, so he can do all those choir backups that fill in the space around the songs. It's really fucking cool. So that's my personal evangelism for the year, is to get everybody to listen to Zeal.
Everybody listen to Zeal and Ardor.
Everybody listen to him, especially now.
Oh, he froze again.
He froze. I was like,
he's really deep in
I
thought.
think he fell asleep. All right.
God,
well,
Jeff, you made him fall asleep.
Look, he filled us with all kinds of info.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to have him on again. I feel like his little song passing game would be a fun.
That would be
be a fun episode. So
I think maybe we just change the format of our whole. Let's do 3 submitted and 3 make you like it.
Yeah, or we can. We can fuck with it. I mean, frankly, we only got through 3 submitted songs.
Yeah.
Because he.
Here he comes on his phone.
Yeah, here he comes on his phone because he there was just other stuff to listen to. All right, let's. Oh shit, which one?
Yeah,
is it
which
now?
one do you admit now? Admit them
Let's
both.
find out.
Let's see what works.
See which one works.
Dun, 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 dun.
We get him.
Dun, 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 dun.
We got him. He's back in the throne room.
Sweet.
Perfect.
This is my, when people ask me, people that don't exist and don't actually ask me this stuff, but like when imaginary people ask me, like, John, what's your fucking text setup, bro? Like, I say, when shit goes haywire, I just fucking move 3 feet to one direction, and I just sit down and hope it works and fucking press the restart button.
Cross your fingers.
Wait,
Yeah.
can we do one last thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I was going to do this. We skipped the merch table today.
Oh shit, we did.
But-
Come on, this is the perfect way to end it.
Should we end it?
Yeah,
with the merch
we'll end
table?
with the merch table. So we just show off records, band merch, other random shit that we bought. Last week I got a custom bass that I've been waiting 6 months for. Finally showed up, so I showed that off. But you should go first. I think we should close it off with mine.
Well, I mean,
So wait, is this something where we all show something that we bought?
yes.
you don't
Yes.
have to though.
You don't have to.
I know.
But I was thinking that
won't
if you
take too
don't
long.
have any. Oh, you do have something.
Oh, good.
Good. Because I was going to say, if you don't have something, just grab one of those records. I want you to just grab a random record. But you have something, so do it.
Yeah.
I haven't.
All
I
right.
can hear you. I'm listening to everything right now.
All right, so we'll squeeze a little merch table. Nice memory. I didn't even look at my agenda. Once we went off track in the first picks, I was just like,
It's okay. I
fuck
don't
it.
think anybody will mind.
We're just gonna go where it takes us.
We're just going to do this thing.
Now I'm gonna have to listen
What's
back
the
to
first
it
thing you
though
got?
for show notes.
I'm also looking at the screen right now.
Oh.
Going through my
Okay.
records, but I can.
Well, all right,
See.
I'll start with mine. So it wouldn't be Christmas without a shiny new copy of the Target exclusive version of the Mariah Carey Christmas album, which my children were so stoked.
Were they so stoked?
Including the vintage photo shoot of her with reindeers. It's beautiful.
that.
And my favorite touch.
Oh, it's a splatter vinyl.
It's a Christmas splatter, which is not going to come out right because the green is going to get sucked into the green screen. But yeah.
Whoa.
Mariah Carey all
Nice.
day long, hammering the keys on the piano. It's a favorite at our house. Well, it's not my favorite, but
I think we're frozen again.
I've learned to tolerate it. Are you still there hunting for a record?
We'll get it back in a minute.
All right. Well, you can't show off.
Oh, there he is.
He's back.
All right.
I'm so sorry, guys.
That's all good.
All right.
Done.
Let's get your while you're still good. Let's get your pick.
All right, so this is I got a recent find. Fiona Apple, When the Pawn. They recently just put this out on vinyl.
Oh,
And
Nice.
I might have to get that.
it's not the way that the disc looks is not necessarily special. The packaging is fucking great, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that like this is just such a fucking great fucking record.
Record,
Oh, yeah. Completely.
Yeah, that is.
And you just picked that up? When did they re-release it?
This must have been like
Or was it never on
months
vinyl?
ago, like maybe 2-3 months. No, it's probably more than that. Like 4. Well, when I ordered it was probably like fucking 5 or 6 months ago. But when I got it was probably like 3 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Hard to say. And I just, with the stress of everything, I couldn't think of anything else I wanted to show. But when I was going for the Fiona record, the one thing that caught my mind, and I would really like to show, is this Townes Van Zandt record, fucking Live at the Old Quarter.
Nice.
Townes Van Zandt is the fucking shit and the truth. And oh my God, like, go to any record that he has. This live one, this is a live recording, but it's really fucking great.
I love live records. Nice packaging.
Gatefold there, and I don't know.
That's amazing. Where was it recorded?
Somewhere in Houston.
Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He is so good.
Also, 2 seconds. You guys asked me on this podcast, so like,
No, it's all good. We're in no rush. We're on the West Coast. It's still early here.
for this motherfuckers.
We're in it. You might be the second 2-parter.
Yeah. That's good though.
Banking episodes. Cha-cha. Yeah,
Froze again.
he froze again.
Should I play some more of my skin trumpet? No, my mouth trumpet, not my skin trumpet.
Your skin. Should you play your own skin flute on camera? I'm gonna say.
Then we would definitely have to mark this as it's not appropriate for kids.
Explicit.
Yeah.
Is it
explicit content on
Yes,
YouTube?
We went explicit.
Why is it making me sign in to watch this video?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
JD played his sklin. My
Sklin.
sklin.
Sklin fruit. Hey, so can we give any previews on upcoming guests that we know for sure we're going to be recording with?
Yeah, I mean, next week we are recording with. We lost him. Maybe he'll join us again. Back. We're recording with the. Oh my God! Hold on,
drummer.
Get your shit together.
For
Uh,
Armand Majidi, who is the drummer for Sick of It All, and Sick of It All is, I mean. If you don't know who they are, then I don't know. I mean, maybe they're probably the band that sort of took hardcore popular, as popular as hardcore got. But I mean, they've been a band for 35 years.
Oh dang, he's back! All right,
yes,
catch him while he's hot.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
I like the new view.
Now we're on the phone.
Yep.
All right. I think you had one more record, right?
Well,
No,
I didn't. I could pull one out.
Oh no, you don't need to. I thought you did. I thought you were looking for one.
Yeah, I thought you.
No, I got anxious
all
and
good.
I just thought like those two are.
Those two are great.
Yeah.
All right, what do you
I
got?
talked
JD?
way too fucking much on this stuff.
Yeah. No, I think you might appreciate this, but I was just telling Jeff, we were talking about our guest next week, and our guest next week is Armand Majidi from Sick of It All.
Yeah.
The drummer from Sick of It All, yeah. So I'm super stoked because, you know, I mean, they were hugely influential to this little hardcore kid.
Right
So
on.
yeah, I have.
Yeah, what do you have?
Are you sure you're ready for
Yeah,
this?
come on,
Well, Jeff,
keep it rolling.
I got a pedal.
JD bought a pedal. What the fuck?
This is a super badass pedal right here. You can see it says right there, super badass pedal. It's got 4 knobs. It has 2 things that you can step on. And it has it's pretty sweet graphics on it. And it distorts a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So it has some lights. It has green lights and red lights that tell me that things are on and they're not on. It's my super badass pedal.
Inside baseball, JD's favorite moment on every episode is when me and some other gear nerds start talking about pedals. I think I've literally watched him fall asleep like 7 times while we have pedal talk.
It's my favorite
I have
section.
To ask you, have you ever heard of Fuzz Roche's pedals?
Yeah, I have.
Fucking great company, man.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of gear. I hoard gear. I buy lots
Gear
of gear.
hoarder.
I'm a gear hoarder.
I don't really know fucking anything about gear, but
Yeah.
I know a
Yeah.
couple that are, some of them are good buddies of ours. And yeah,
That's awesome.
Cool.
And drums.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, drummers are usually not gearheads.
Not gearheads, but
No, not usually.
at least it's an instrument.
You asked me this earlier on about like how I learned how to sing or anything like that. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know what tangent we got on it. I didn't really answer that question, but like when it comes to like drums or vocals, like I didn't learn how to do any of this shit. I just kind of
Just taught yourself.
just went
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, yeah. Which
Well,
is
and
why I
it's
can't
yeah.
teach this stuff because I have nothing to teach. I can't.
You just do it.
Yeah, you just do it. Exactly. And I think it's obvious too in the way that you sing that it's not like it doesn't come across like it sounds like it's a trained voice, but the way that you do different styles all within one, it's not like this is how you do it. Okay, I'm going to go do that.
Yeah,
It was like this is what I like, this is how I want it to sound, and then you do it.
Do you use do you have your own effects unit for vocals, or do you just go on stage and just sing it dry?
No, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck no. Hell no.
How about
No way, man.
we do have our friend Amy, who sings for Year of the Cobra, did invest in her own in-ear that she can even use in like the shittiest venues in the world, and she said that saved her ass as a singer. I would know because I can't carry
No,
a note.
the only thing is like in-ear monitors would be once we started playing like bigger venues, I would always play with my not headphones, earplugs in. And then once we played bigger venues where the monitor system was good, I started taking the earplugs out, and it's like deafening, but god damn, the sound is so good and so loud and so powerful that like I've gotten into a habit of doing that. And I have inner monitors right now that I'm using because I got them for the Violent Grief live sessions, but I've never played a live show with in-ear monitors, and I don't know. I have no idea what it will feel like. I can't imagine that I will like it much.
Yeah. So she does it.
I like the sound of just the raw fucking beat the shit out of my fucking ears. But there's no longevity in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wears one. So she's figured out a kind of a blend where she can hear herself, but then still hear everything else with one.
I think everybody's got their own thing of like how they can find how they hear themselves comfortably. Yeah.
Yeah, I am glad that's one thing I don't have to deal with is singing. I'm so bad. It's like, fuck it, I do other stuff. So awesome. All right, man. Well, this was fucking a blast.
This is a blast.
And I can tell when we meet up in person, it's going to be a blast too.
Yeah, dude, I had such a fucking fantastic time hanging out and talking music with you guys. Like, this is really a great time. I can't wait till we can tour and fucking and hang out with you guys, whether we're touring in your neck of the woods or if you guys happen to be in our neck of the woods. Even if you're not touring, just fucking hit us up.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we decided we're going to have to bring you back, and instead of listening to the submissions, we're going to play your game. So we'll find a time.
Yes, let's fucking do it. Oh, my God.
We're going to do
It'll be the worst episode ever, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got to do it. We'll figure out some ground rules, like maybe how long the songs can be. Like I'm not going to drop any. It'll
just be me going like, no, it's fucking, but because like the fucking, you don't know, but like the fucking, this is the fucking minor chords, bro.
I mean, yeah, we'll find a date to do that for sure.
Oh yeah. That'd be
No,
the
I
best.
won't do that. I won't really do that, but yeah, I would fucking love to. This is such a great time, man. I had no idea who you guys were. It's just that thing. And this is so much fucking fun, man.
Well, spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. If you
would appreciate it.
If you know people in your scene who you think would enjoy doing this too, put them in touch with us.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
I think I know a lot of people. And you guys asked me like for that photo.
That was incredible.
And I was kind of like, there's no real side profile things I know, so maybe I should just take some random one. I just started looking around my apartment for random ass shit I had.
And you happen to have chainmail?
Yeah. I was like, is this weird? Is this weird? I don't know who these people are, but like, I kind of thought like, fuck it, let's do it.
Well, you sent that, and I immediately forwarded it to Jeff, and I was like, "This is going to be a fun one."
Oh, we're gonna have. This is definitely going to be a good time. Rad. Awesome, man.
That's how I knew. I was like, yeah. Thank you guys so much, man.
Nice.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
We'll tag you up when we post the show. It'll be a week. It'll be like a week and a half.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have a
Thank you.
Man.
killer rest of your night.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Hopefully
All
talk
right.
to you soon.
Have a good one. Take care.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Whew.
Whew, we made it.
Two whirlwinds.
That one could have gone on forever.
Could have. Well, that's the. Hey, you like to talk about music. We like to talk about music.
Exactly.
You like to listen to it. I could tell right away. Like when I was scrolling through the label, the
Yeah.
first one. He's like, "Hey, stop at that one." Like,
Yeah.
What's that?
What's that?
Like,
Yeah. What's that? That looks cool.
It's exactly how I am. So no, that was so much fun. I don't think I have anything left to say other than to the 3 submissions that I had planned for this week. You don't know who you are yet, so you
do you another time.
you don't know to be mad, but we'll just catch you another time.
Yes.
All right,
Exactly.
everybody. Well, I need to decompress.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
Look forward to it.
Thanks again, everyone, for coming to another episode of
Blynd Submyshynz.
We Out.
If you saw the ghosts I see when I sleep, you leave too. Yeah, you
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blynd Submyshynz. See episode description for links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying music and merch. Share links to the podcast or YouTube videos with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands! If you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndsub@gmail.com. That is blyndsub, BLYNDSUB @gmail.com. Bandcamp links preferred, but not required. Find us on social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.